I was really looking forward to seeing the atmosphere in the Luzhniki for Russia, and I have to be honest, until now it's actually been a little disappointing, and I wonder whether the Russian fans are coming here fearing what might happen to the national team.
I totally agree, John. I think they think their time's up, and listen, I think they'll give everything they've got, but I think Spain, who've had a funny start to the tournament, will actually think today, look, we've got to up the tempo, and that's why he's made the changes.
Yeah, compared to when you and I were in St. Petersburg, and it felt like half of Argentina was there. I mean, the atmosphere was brilliant there. Here, it is ever so slightly subdued, and I mean, there are white and blue and red Russian flags everywhere you look around the stadium, and now a huge cheer as the flags that you'll have seen on all of the World Cup pitches that are supported by the boys and girls, and the emblem, the World Cup emblem for this Russia World Cup in the centre circle is lifted high, and they're waiting now for the first sight of the teams for this last 16 game here at the World Cup. And here they come now, led by the Dutch officials and the mascot who plucks the ball from the podium, and they stand, and Russia's footballers walk out to take on Spain. Russia, the rank outsiders at this World Cup, their own World Cup, against the world champions of 8 years ago. So red tracksuits all round. The Spanish anthem will be the first that we hear, and then we will hear the Russian anthem, quite possibly for the last time at a match at this World Cup. Or will it be? Yeah, a spine-tingling rendition of the Russian anthem, and that banner is actually a huge Russian flag that was unfurled over the heads of the supporters. Russian flag. It has a message at the bottom. It has Igor Akinfeev lifting the World Cup trophy, and a shadow version of supporters celebrating winning the World Cup. So that is the dream. And we'll put that on social media for you, actually. I think we've got a picture of it, so we'll send it for you on at 5 Live Sport. But the team pictures are now being taken. And what about this? Here we are. Sunny afternoon now. We've had very heavy rainstorms in Moscow this morning. But we are in the Russian capital. We're in the country's biggest stadium, and we are watching Russia's first match in the knockout stage of the World Cup since Soviet times. It's been that long since they've been at this stage of the World Cup. And the opposition, the team they've got to get past, the 2010 world champions, Spain. Spain, Chris Waddle, overwhelming favourites. It'll be a massive surprise if Russia get through to the quarterfinals.
Totally agree, but if you can't get up for the game after that national anthem, John, we took the headphones off, that was class to listen to. If you can't get up for a game, especially you're playing Spain alone, you should be fired up. I know they played last year in a friendly, they drew 3-all, didn't they, which Spain normally don't really like friendlies, let's be honest, but it's going to be they're going to have to play their very best to get a result.
If you haven't heard, Spain have left out Iniesta today, only on the bench. Thiago Alcantara likewise, Carvajal only on the bench. So Nacho's in at right back, Koke into the midfield, and Asensio gets his first start of this World Cup, the Real Madrid winger on the left hand side. So Spain with De Gea in goal, Nacho, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Ramos and Jordi Alba. In midfield, Koke and Sergio Busquets, with David Silva, Isco, Marco Asensio and Diego Costa up front. And the Russian news is that Denis Cheryshev, their top scorer, has been left out as well. Grew up in Spain, plays for Villarreal, knows the Spanish players, but he's only on the bench. 4 changes in all, so the Russian team, Akinfeev in goal, 3 central defenders, Kutyapov, Ignashevich and Kudryashov. Wing backs Mario Fernandez and Yuri Zhirkov. Midfield of Samyodov, Zobnin and Kuzyaev, with Golovin, and then the big man Dzyuba up front. So here we go. The banner said, "You were born to make a fairy tale into reality." That banner with Akinfeev holding the World Cup. Talking about fairy tales, the Russians, well, let's see what they can do against Spain on this second day of last 16 matches at this thrilling World Cup of 2018. It's a warm afternoon. We have 80,000 people in this magnificent Luzhniki Stadium, and everyone now cranking up the atmosphere two tiers all the way around, waiting for the signal. The referee is Bjorn Kuipers, and Spain are preparing to kick off in their red shirts with the yellow trim, the blue shorts and the black socks, and Russia in the mainly white kit. As Spain get the game underway, playing the ball back to Sergio Ramos, who hits a long one downfield towards Diego Costa, who gets a touch on it but heads it down, and Russia have their first possession of the match, where Mario Fernandes, who's come back into the team, the Brazilian-born right wing back as he is today, Mario Fernandes, wins a throw-in up the right-hand side. And we have the first chorus, Chris, of Russia.
I'm looking at the team. Isco's playing left side. We thought he plays at 10. He's playing as 11. Asensio's playing as the right winger. Very narrowly. He's going out now wide. So they're using pace on the flanks and skill. David Silva goes in with Busquets and Koke.
Yep, so David Silva playing in a central position. But, you know, they'll switch that, won't they? I would imagine. And here is David Silva with his first touch, but it just gets away from him. And it's hooked out of play. Actually, it takes a touch, final touch, after it was played into Isco. And out for a throw-in to Russia down in front of us. So what should the Russia approach be in a game like this?
Stay in the game as long as possible. Set piece, a chance, a breakaway, a counter-attack. You may get it on your day. We know Spain are very, very vulnerable, pedestrian at the back at times, let's be honest. They will leave spaces. You can exploit gaps. The thing is with Zuba up front, he's not the quickest, John, and unless somebody plays close to him, the ball's going to be coming back. But they will get their chances. Everybody gets a chance.
So it is Spain against Russia. This is BBC 5 Live. We have commentary later, live from Nizhny Novgorod, where Croatia played Denmark, and the winners of these two matches today will play each other in the quarter-finals of this World Cup. Spain with the ball, Jordi Alba had to struggle actually just to keep the ball in play and to get it under control, and he gets a little round of applause from his coach Fernando Hierro, who of course took over on the eve of this World Cup. That incredible story when Spain sacked Julen Lopetegui the day before this World Cup began. Isco swings the ball out towards the right hand side. Asensio is playing out there. He has Nacho on the overlap, who scored that excellent goal down in Sochi when we were there, the 3-3 draw against Portugal. Now it's back on the left hand side with Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba's going on a weaving run as is his way into the penalty area, but Fernandes came across, blocked it, and Fernandes himself, this tall number 2 for Russia, clears it towards the halfway line, where Sergio Ramos wins a header, and then Busquets plays it back to Gerard Piqué in central defence.
That's it. So all they're getting now is Russia's playing so deep. They are playing as a 5 basically along the back, playing 3 really tight in midfield, one trying to join the other. He gets isolated and Ramos gets in front of him. He reads the game so well, so they're not going to get out today. It's basically 0-0, and I think even now if you said to Russia you'll end up with a shootout at the end of it, I think they'd take it now.
Yeah, it's effectively 5-4-1. I mean, Golovin is looking to get forward whenever he can, whenever Russia do come forward, but Juba now challenging for the ball, but he's actually beaten in the air, and it bounces down for Busquets to play it back to Piqué. We're expecting Spain to have mammoth amounts of possession in this match. Spain, who are unbeaten since Euro 2016, the longest unbeaten run of any team at this World Cup, 23 matches. They drew 3-3, mind you, with Russia in St. Petersburg last November. And David Silva with a heavy touch, which plays it out for a throw-in to Russia deep inside their own half. So Spain 0, Russia 0, BBC 5 Live at the World Cup. Big cheer here because Golovin takes the ball down the right-hand side. The first exciting attacking move that we've seen from the Russians. Golovin has won a corner, Chris Waddle.
Well, this is the chance. You've got to get the ball to him as much as possible. He's a bright spark for Russia, and you've got to say now this is a very good opportunity for them.
Yeah, everyone looking to, the central defenders are up. Obviously Zuba as well. It's going to be taken from the right-hand side by Samyedov. Samyedov with the corner. It's a deep one. It's over everyone. It's hooked away. Although it comes out to Zhirkov, who hits a shot, but he was charged down by David Silva. And the ball is blocked out of play into a huge patch on the far side of the stadium, the lower tier and a little bit of the upper tier as well, where it'll actually be quite warm there. Weather's transformed itself in Moscow today. The rain this morning, Chris, at breakfast time, got the feeling that it was never going to end. We were going to have rain all day, but beautiful now. And here come Russia with the ball on the right-hand side, but a slip actually from Ramos as well as Samyedov. And in the end, a challenge on Isco that is given as a free kick to Spain, who take it quickly.
Spain look just a little bit, in this tournament, they've looked a little bit lacking in confidence in areas, John, for me. Isco's been a plus, but David Silva's not really took to the tournament like we see him play at Man City and dominate games with the possession. Obviously he's left Iniesta out today. There's a lot of players, Busquets, they've all I don't know, they just don't look comfortable in possession like they normally do.
Well, we heard Guillaume Balaguer talking about where this Spain team is going, at least in the short term, possibly in the longer term, and Fernando Hierro. But here's Koke now, who's come back into the team. He also started when we watched them in Sochi against Portugal. Koke alongside Busquets in central midfield, which I think is a little nod of respect as well, Chris, to the Russians. The fact that Koke has been brought in alongside Busquets, as the ball is swung out by Ramos to the far side. That's superbly well taken down on the right flank by Isco, who's appeared on the right hand side. The upright bearded little figure of Isco, who gets the ball down, swings over the cross, and it's headed away by Ignashevich, the 38-year-old in the Russian back line. Russia struggling to clear their lines as it's played across to Manuel Fernandes, who had to stretch in quickly because Jordi Alba was almost on top of him, and he just managed to scrape it away.
Yeah, he did. Last ditch Fernandes, he clears it just in time. Jordi Alba really on top of him. Spain have started a really high tempo, forced Russia back, which we thought they would, but they can't get out, Russia. For all his presence up front, they just can't get the ball to him.
Another chorus of Russia. It's been a feature, hasn't it, of this World Cup wherever we've gone. And certainly remember that night when we were in central Moscow, Chris, when we were around Red Square. That was the night after the win against Egypt, when we've never seen anything like that, have we? When we've been following tournaments and World Cups all over the world. Incredible atmosphere of celebration. Not just the Russian supporters, supporters of all nations were joining in, but you could hardly move in the central streets of Moscow. So it'll be like that tonight, times 2, 3 or 4 if they win this game and knock out Spain. Here's Koke. All the time Spain have been in possession, but David Silva now is put under pressure, and Russia will look to break away from the halfway line. A little pass couldn't find Samyodov, and Piqué was able to step across into the path of the ball, and Spain have got it back on a long pass from Busquets. Diego Costa will do well to reach that. Indeed, it skips away and bangs into the advertising hoardings.
No, it's not a Spanish way, that. It's good tactic sometimes. They've committed 4 or 5 bodies forward there, Russia, and Busquets isn't trying to hit that pass to Costa as we saw against Portugal in the first game. So that's not a bad tactic. But David Silva again caught in possession.
Spain 0, Russia 0 with 7 minutes played, almost 8 minutes. So they haven't conceded the early goal that they might have feared, Russia. We've seen pictures on the television screens. I don't know about you, I was wondering if Vladimir Putin would be here for this match today. I've not seen him on the screen. I've seen Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, and you would think that if Putin was here, he'd be sitting around Gianni Infantino. If Russia go 2-0 up with 10 minutes to play, do you think he might appear from somewhere?
You see the helicopter coming over the top.
Yeah, it is, with Golovin on the left-hand side, but Golovin concedes a foul, and Spain are back in possession. Jordi Alba. Now Isco has appeared again, almost in the left wing-back position. Isco. We've seen him on the right side, we've seen him on the left, we've seen him in the middle. At the moment, Asensio very much on the right-hand side, and here he is, the Real Madrid man, who I know you rate very highly, Asensio. Koke playing it square towards Sergio Ramos. That's Atletico Madrid to Real Madrid. Now here's Barcelona with Jordi Alba on the left-hand side, and now Atletico Madrid again with Diego Costa, who crosses but straight into the first defender, Kuchepov, and it is chipped away towards the halfway line by big Juba, who was beaten to it by Sergio Ramos, and then a shove in the back of Busquets, and it's a free kick to Spain just inside Russian territory. Chris Waddle.
Yeah, Ramos is a little bit too streetwise for Zuba for me. Every time the ball comes forward, he's there, he's in front of him, or he's next to him, he's going to get a free kick a lot, or he gets in front and gets the ball.
Yeah, Zuba, who came on as a substitute during the great win here at this stadium against Saudi Arabia, when for a little while at least for Russia anything seemed possible at this tournament. The 5-0 win against Saudi Arabia, but the Uruguay defeat I think brought everyone back down to earth a little bit. But as we know now, Uruguay are a very, very good team at this World Cup. Here the ball to the right hand side where Nacho is blocked, and it's a free kick. Zhirkov, as Nacho was looking to control it and take it on, Zhirkov just stepped in front of him and fouled him.
That looked a bit painful. It really clashed knees, I think. He couldn't get under control. It bounces up. Is that all right? Oh, that's a terrible challenge. By the way, that's shocking, that.
That's a nasty one. He's caught him on the knee. I mean, it was a bouncing ball he was going for, but he missed the ball by a distance.
That's shocking.
And caught him on the knee.
That is shocking. And the linesman's 4 yards away, by the way. That is a really bad challenge, that.
He's not being yellow carded.
No. It did look, at first, John, looked like a collision, really, but that was terrible when you see the replay.
He's still receiving treatment. Over on the far side, he's up and he's leaning forward with his hands on his knees. Natural. And he just limps away. But it's a free kick in a very dangerous position. In the shadows, down to our left. Spain with Sergio Ramos on the 6-yard box. Busquets is there and Costa. Here's the delivery into the 6-yard box. A stretch by Ramos. It's in. It's in. He was being put under pressure, the Spanish captain, but he's somehow been able to work it in from just a couple of yards out. And it is 1-0 to Spain. They've scored the early goal. That is an early hammer blow for the Russian hosts. And it is Spain who lead by 1-0. And it's Sergio Ramos.
Well, Strong, one thing in his mind. It was a foul. It was a terrible foul, and they took the free kick. Yet again, this is the World Cup of set pieces. Every set piece there seems to be a chance of goal. He's strong at the far post. He's getting. By the way, the guy who's Martin's not even looking at the ball. Look at that. If he doesn't score, it's a pen anyway for me.
Ignashevich.
Oh, he's not even looking at him. It's come off his leg.
Did Sergio Ramos get a touch on?
No, it's an own goal.
Just need to see that again, I think. I mean, Ramos's foot was next to the leg of Ignashevich.
Own goal. Come off the calf.
So it looks as though that is an own goal. On our screen, our little information screen to our left, they've not yet committed themselves.
He scored. I don't know heard him.
Now
12 he's scored.
Yeah, I think it is. It looks as though it is going to be given as an Ignashevich own goal. We'll see. It's one of those ones where I think they'll have to examine the footage. But listen, it's 1-0 already to Spain, and what was already a difficult task for the Russians has just become so much harder. And it's a goal kick because Juba can't control the ball.
Offside anyway. The linesman had the flag up, but that's definitely an own goal for me. But I don't get why he's a big guy, big centre. Why is he not looking at the ball and going challenging? What is he? He's actually facing Ramos, got his arms round him, wrestled him to the floor, comes off his calf, goes in the net.
Spain 1, Russia 0 on this Sunday afternoon. I know the weather conditions are glorious again back home. Here's Fernandez on the right-hand side. Fernandez playing the ball into the Spanish left-back area, and Fernandez brilliantly tackled by Piqué, who recovered and put the ball out of play for a throw. That was an excellent piece of defensive work. If you're on your way home and you're listening to our commentary on 5 Live, you can continue to listen to us. It's one of those games where we are on the red button, because this is a BBC television live match, as Russia have their first chance to have a shot from distance. Roman Zobnin, but it was high over the angle of post and bar by a distance, actually 5 or 6 yards. So it is a goal kick to Spain. So on your television, on your handset, press the red button and you'll be able to watch the pictures synced up with the 5 Live commentary. And it is Steve Wilson and Kevin Kilban who are right in front of us, actually, with the BBC TV commentary, so you can listen to them as well if you prefer when you get home. But 1-0 to Spain, and here is Isco. And I think that I would hesitate to say that Spain were unsettled, but if there wasn't any element of being unsettled by playing here against the hosts in the Luzhniki Stadium, then that goal will have settled them down. And I see that the FIFA committee have obviously decided that yes, it is an Ignashevich own goal that has given Spain the lead. Here comes Spain down the right-hand side now. Asensio hooked it infield, but presented it to Russia, and it's cleared away up towards Juba, who nods it down, but a little slip by Samyedov, and Spain have got it inside their own half.
Spain just can't get out. And I noticed after the goal, they got a goal kick, Spain, and Russia went right up the field and made them kick it long, and this is what they're going to have to do to go in the game. Look, nobody fancies you to win the game, so go and have a go. If you lose 2 or 3, 4, it's football, you've had a go. At the minute, it's for Spain, How many teams play Spain and do this, what they're doing? Most teams sit back, but they haven't got the pace or the legs to hurt them on the counter-attack, so you may as well go for it.
Ball downfield is deflected into the path of Kuzyaev, and that means that Russia are on the move again with Zhirkov down the left-hand side. Yuri Zhirkov, 34 years old now, very nearly 35, the former Chelsea man. It's played up down the line to Zobnin, who wanted a free kick, but the referee's having none of it. The ball is dribbled away through for a Spanish goal kick. And David De Gea, who has not yet had a save to make in this match. And Russia are certainly looking to press Spain here, because they have 5 men in the Spanish defensive third, as De Gea is looking to take this goal kick. You made a great point as well, Chris, in terms of the goal that Spain scored. That would have had to be given as a penalty. De Gea still waiting to take the goal kick.
All right, John, he should have got a yellow card anyway, even though he's put it in his own net.
Ignashevich.
Yes, he should have been yellow carded after it.
Yeah. So Spain leading Russia by 1-0 here in Moscow. Late challenge on Busquets, which caught him. That was late, but Spain are in possession, so referee Kuipers has said just play on. And it's Zobnin who put in the challenge. Here the ball to the edge of the penalty area to Isco. Isco with a lovely touch, then David Silva takes it over, tried to spin a pass to the left-hand side. And Spain now sensing that if they could score a second goal, they'd pretty much have this last 16 tie wrapped up with, plenty of time to go. And Silva looking for Diego Costa, but it's headed down by Kuchepov.
Russia don't know what to do, John. Stick or twist.
Oh, and that's sliced out of play by Kuchepov, and it's a throw-in to Spain down the left.
They don't know what to do, stick or twist. They've had a game plan which has gone backwards on them on 12 minutes. Now do they want to come out and really have a go and press Spain, give what they've got for an hour and make the subs? Or they're going to do what they've started, because they're playing in Spain's hand. You may as well go and have a go.
At the moment it is panning out as the majority of these 80,000 people will have feared, but they're trying to raise their team with the waving of the flags and the cheering of the Russian name. But Spain, with Sergio Ramos, chips the ball to the right-hand side. Certainly the celebration from Ramos would suggest that he might well be claiming that, but the TV pictures are suggesting that it was an Ignashevich own goal. Sergio Ramos now, little pass into the centre circle where Koke will pull it to the right-hand side. David Silva is there. David Silva then goes back towards the halfway line, and this is just Spanish possession in the central third of the field. If you do want to listen to the Austrian Grand Prix, by the way, you can hear the commentary on 5 Live Sports Extra, and on the BBC Sport website you can hear the commentary on the New Zealand-England final of the Women's Tri-Series cricket. New Zealand, last we heard, were batting. That is on the BBC Sport website. But Spain, with Jordi Alba, who it's a poor pass actually, straight out of play for a throw into Russia, halfway inside their own half. And of course, Wimbledon begins tomorrow. I know we've mentioned it during the course of the programme, but there'll be blanket coverage from, late tomorrow morning, I would imagine, on the television, on 5 Live and Sports Extra, and online over the course of the next couple of weeks or so. It'll be something of a juggling act for us with Wimbledon and the World Cup. But the ball out of play for a throw-in to Spain, and we see a first sight since the start of the match of the Russian coach, the burly, mustachioed Russian coach Stanislav Cherchesov, who was trying to direct operations in his dark suit, shaven-headed, and in front of him little Jordi Alba standing, holding the ball above his head and taking a loop throw to the bearded Diego Costa. Couldn't find Asensio, cleared forward, and then Sergio Ramos in. Juba acted as though he'd been brushed by a feather, kept his feet. He's a strong individual. Now the ball played over the top by Kuzyaev, but Nacho was in position to clear it towards the halfway line. Ignashevich, right-footed ball with the angle out to the right-hand side. Fernandez wins the challenge, but the second challenge is won by Sergio Ramos, and Spain now moving it away from inside their own half. Asensio looked for the long ball towards Diego Costa. That's very much been a feature of the Spanish play, that early ball to Costa when the opportunity presents itself. But Sergio Ramos almost telepathically knew where Gerard Piqué was, behind him, turned, passed straight to him, and Spain have got the ball again halfway inside their own half. Spain, certainly, Chris Waddle, very live contenders to win this World Cup.
Yep. Yeah, you can't write them off. Listen, they're a talented bunch, and squad-wise as well. Yes, you know, they've changed it over the years, but we got so used to certain players playing every tournament, and obviously some new ones come in, but it's very much the same. They still play attractive football, and including 2006 World Cup, they've dominated possession in 32 of the last 33 games since, including 2006. Every major tournament, 32 out of 33 games have dominated possession, and you do know the 33 was the team they didn't dominate against,
which was... Now,
answers on a postcard to John Murray.
Should know this. Let me think about that. Now you're trying to make me do two things at the same time, and I always find that difficult. It is 1-0 to Spain. Just want to mentally go through the teams of the world.
Just let Mark Chapman know.
Here's Jordi Alba going back to Sergio Ramos, who chips it into the centre circle. So was it Germany, was it?
You've got it.
Yes. Anyway, see, everything comes to those who wait. Diego Costa heads the ball on through the middle, but it runs straight to Akinfaya if he's able to pick it up. So Spain 1, Russia 0. The goal scored in the 12th minute, given eventually as an Ignashevich own goal. Sergio Ramos with a shove in the back on Dzyuba, and actually he's taken a crack on the back of the head as well. Climbs to his feet. Sergio Ramos comes across, and as ever with Ramos, you just wonder, was there anything funny going on there?
Nothing.
No, there's not.
No. Seeing Dzyuba's big and strong. No way. So he hit the ground there. He didn't even touch him.
He put his hand on his shoulder. Spain 1, Russia 0. Set piece. Set piece chance.
Good chance.
And the crowd sense it. And all around the Luzhniki, they're climbing to their feet. And they're waving their flags and they're slapping their clappers. And it's going to be delivered in to the Spanish penalty area, deep towards the back post, where it's headed across, and it's clearance on the stretch by Jordi Alba. And then Isco is challenged and beaten. That's not a free kick, so Russia come again with the ball on the right-hand side. Kuchepov with the cross. It's headed back across, a hanging ball, which is nodded away by Koke. Spain still not completely cleared their lines, but Isco magnificently lifts the ball over his opponent, and then is bundled over by a combination of two Russians, and it's a free kick to Spain halfway inside their own half. And actually Spain, I think Koke and one or two others suggesting that wasn't a great foul on Isco.
One before they were moaning about.
Yeah.
He tried to run it clear. He thought it was a foul there, and the Spanish players obviously not happy. A little bit of pressure by Russia, and that's what they've got to do. They've got to be brave, they've got to get up, and really just give what you've got. And if you run out of steam, you run out of steam. But because at the minute, the way the two teams are playing, Spain's won this all day.
Still only one goal in it, and we are into the second quarter of the match. Almost 24 minutes played here in Moscow on what is now a very warm afternoon. Just one or two high, wispy clouds through the circular opening in the roof above our heads, and Spain in possession. Spain in the kinder half of the draw as it's panned out. England's half. England against Colombia on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock BST. We will bring it to you in full, all of the build-up and the commentary from the Spartak Stadium in the north of Moscow. That on Tuesday night. But Spain coming forward as Isco tries to give it back to Jordi Alba. Russia half clear it. Isco's got it back, gives it to Jordi Alba, who can't reach it on the stretch, on the slide. It was over the line before he pulled it back, and it's a goal kick to the Russians.
Yeah, just overhit, wasn't it? Sloppy play. When Spain press high and quick with the tempo, they get it back very quickly, and Isco's had a great tournament for me so far. Just overhits that pass to Jordi Alba. It was very quick, but he couldn't keep that in.
Yes, Isco, Champions League winner, of course, with Real Madrid, this great Real Madrid that we are very lucky to be watching at the moment. A brilliant record in the Champions League in recent seasons, but not quite seeing the best of Isco at the moment with Real Madrid. But he's been given his head in this Spanish team, and he's playing well at this World Cup. A slip upfield, which means that the ball's being presented to Asensio, and Asensio's on the sprint up the right-hand side, but he can't keep the ball in. He's run it straight out of play. Throw in. Kudryashov is going to take it.
Well, I'm a big fan of Asensio, young player around Madrid, but a lot of talent. And when he plays, he's better down the middle, to be fair. But when Real Madrid put him on, they always put him on the left, and he causes problems. First time I've seen him play on the right.
Yeah, just assumed he was going to play on the left-hand side, but he's not. Asensio. Here is Kudryashov. Ball on the left-hand side, goes for one of those long diagonal balls looking for Fernandez, but he can't reach that, and it's out of play over his head for a throw into Spain in the Spanish left-back position. He's got a little bit of the Marcos Alonso about him, Mario Fernandez, the Russian number 2, who, as I say, was Brazilian-born, but he plays here in Moscow for CSKA, and he committed himself to play for Russia. He was granted permission by Vladimir Putin himself. A presidential decree was granted by Putin, and so, as you might expect, things seem to be smoothed over. And here he is playing for Russia at the World Cup, and Russia coming forward on the right-hand side, and with Zobnin winning a corner, a cross that hit the first defender and bounced behind. So another Russian corner from the right.
Well, they're actually coming into the game slightly, Russia, and more by Spain, sloppy play, to be honest, but they always got a chance from set pieces, always.
Coach Cherchesov is trying to whip the supporters up. Zhirkov is going to take this corner, might take it short, he might just tap it to Golovin, which is what he does. Golovin now pulls it back outside of the penalty area to Samyodov. Now Golovin again on the right-hand side. Samyodov has continued his run, tried to slip it through the legs of Diego Costa, actually, but Costa was able to block it, and then Isco runs it out of play on the halfway line, and it's another throw into Russia. So Spain 1, Russia 0. We've got about 20 minutes to go to half-time. The score, Spain 1, Russia 0, and later, from 7 o'clock UK time, commentary on Croatia, Denmark. Pat Nevin will be alongside Ian Dennis in Nizhny Novgorod. I know, because I've seen pictures on social media, that Ian has been on the cable car in Nizhny Novgorod that you and I went on the other day, so I'm sure he'll be talking about that. I'm not sure that was quite his thing, actually, a cable car.
Just picture Trumpton.
And the ball with Spain inside their own half. Piqué lifted across to Sergio Ramos.
I think where Spain's finding it a bit frustrating at times. They've overloaded the midfield, Russia, haven't they? And Spain love going into that centre circle, and they have little triangles and they move the ball around, but there's always 4 white shirts, sometimes 5 in there, and they can't come inside a lot, so they've got to go wide today.
So it's 1-0, and while it's 1-0, okay, yeah, Spain are such strong favourites in this position, but there's still a chance for Russia. And Spain, other than the goal, which was a bit of a scrappy affair in the way that it was scored, a free kick on the right that was delivered into the back post, and with Ignashevich all over Sergio Ramos, eventually the ball going in off Ignashevich's leg. Akinfeev has had nothing else to do.
No, Spain have at times got in good areas, wasted the opportunity, and is again World Cup of set pieces. It's a set piece they've scored from. But Russia's come back into the game, you can't say they haven't. And
here come Russia though with the ball on the right-hand side, being taken on up the right by Zobnin, and Zobnin looking to cross, but the ball blocked out of play by a sliding Isco in the full-back area, and it is a throw-in that Fernandez will look to take. There's no ball boy or ball girl down there, so Fernandez has actually had to walk around behind the FIFA.com advertising hoarding and get the ball himself. That's not supposed to happen at the World Cup. Takes the throw in, Fernandez. Now back to Samyodov. The tall Fernandez again plays it back behind him to Kuchepov, who crossed straight into Diego Costa. It's very congested. Spain have got everybody back in their defensive third. Fernandez trying to take it on into the penalty area. The cheers, but it comes to absolutely nothing on the edge of the box. Brilliant drag back by Isco to beat Kuzyaev in centre field. That was superb. And then Spain keep possession, Asensio, and then it's back into the comfort area. The three of the old stagers, Piqué and Sergio Ramos and Busquets. All three of them now in excess of 100 caps. Gerard Piqué winning his 102nd here, having reached the century at this World Cup. To his left, Ramos, who's playing for Spain for the 155th time, and Busquets, who's winning his 107th cap. And with Sergio Ramos at the age of 32, there's no immediate sign, is there, of him calling it a day? He just loves playing.
Yeah, he does. His fitness levels have still remained with him, and he can carry on as long as he wants.
Yeah, he's in absolutely brilliant shape, isn't he, as well, with his sculpted beard. And here he is, green captain's armband on, swings a pass to the right-hand side to Nacho, who took that early bang on the knee from Zhirkov's challenge, but was obviously okay. 1-0 Spain lead, the own goal in the 12th minute. Jordi Alba back in field towards Isco. Isco, I think from a neutral point of view, and certainly from a Russian point of view, what they will be hoping for is that we get deep into the game and it's still only 1-0. And you never know, there might be one or two nerves creep into it. But Spain are so comfortable at the moment and just doing enough. Here's Isco chipping a ball out to the far side, but it's headed away, and Spain, Gerard Piqué will go all the way back. In fact, he just passes it to Sergio Ramos, and Spain start again from inside their own half.
I think John Rush has done a lot of legwork, and his subs will be vital today. It's a warm day, and they're doing a big shift. They're closing, running, chasing, shuttle after shuttle. Very difficult. The concentration levels drop. That's when Spain capitalise on it.
Yeah, Spain, who at this World Cup actually have been based down in the south of the country near Krasnodar, which is not too far away from Sochi, and we know how warm it can get down there. And they've come up here to Moscow, where it's still, as I say, quite a warm afternoon, but nothing like how hot it can get down south in Russia. Spain 1, Russia 0. The Luzhniki Stadium, the brilliantly rebuilt Luzhniki Stadium, which outside has a little bit of a touch of Berlin's Olympic Stadium about it, with the columns, the sandy coloured brickwork all the way around the stadium. Inside, a wave is sweeping round the ground, the spectators, and a throw-in to Spain, 15 yards inside their own half. And now it's really gained momentum, this wave. Yeah, you know, it's a match which isn't providing a great deal of thrills and spills. Russia are working hard but not creating very much. Spain have got the goal and aren't busting a gut in that position. And so Spain playing it all the way back towards Piqué. Nacho was caught there again, but Spain are still in possession, so referee Kuipers allows Silva to play it to Asensio, who's come across towards the left-hand side. Now back to David Silva, and David Silva with his red Spanish shirt bobbing outside his blue shorts. Back towards Piqué again, and Ramos. This has been a lengthy period of Spanish possession. Russia can't get the ball back off the 2010 world champions.
And many teams have said that when they play Spain.
Yeah, many over the course of the last 32 matches. Here's Piqué. Piqué just knocks the ball on ahead of himself, but goes square, and we've seen multiple touches from most of the Spanish team during the course of this period of possession. Not too many up front, but Spain are just frustrating them. On a warm afternoon, they're making Russia run. And you can hear the crowd trying to lift the Russian team, but there's nothing they can do if they haven't got the ball. Jordi Alba, David Silva, Jordi Alba. Now Busquets with a positive touch out to the right-hand side. Koke flicks it to Nacho. Now it's back centrally with Isco, but Isco will just calm it all down again, and he turns. Isco could be no taller than 5'10" or so, low centre of gravity, and then a touch for Russia. Hooray! And however, it doesn't last for long. One touch and then Spain are back with the ball, and Spain have completed 300 passes, I'm just being told, in this match to Russia's 63, and that count is increasing by the second. 300 passes to Russia's 63. Well, I mean, it's so obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, we can say they've not worked the goalkeeper, and a lot of people will have that as a strength.
Here's Dzyuba though, winning a header, and now Golovin might be able to do something about this. Golovin on his right foot, trying to curl it across, which he does to Zobnin, and Zobnin into the penalty area, but a crucial touch. However, it's taken up again, and this might be a chance, and the shot is wide. A curling effort, with his right foot by Alexander Golovin, and it was a couple of feet wide.
That was the first time Zubas really outfought, pushed, sort of won his battle with Ramos. Comes to Golovin, who comes inside, and you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to bend it around Piqué, uses him as his target to that far corner, but just overhits it, and it's probably a yard or two wide.
Yeah, I mean, it was never threatening De Gea's goal, even though he dived to his left. It's actually quite misleading on an occasion like this, where the majority of the crowd are absolutely desperate. They're so desperate for Russia to create something that even something like that is going to be greeted by the crowd as though it's grazed the post. But as Chris said, it was a yard, maybe 2 yards wide. Spain leading Russia by 1-0. Half-time approaching. We're into the last 10 minutes of the first half here. But Spain 1, Russia 0, with 7 minutes or so plus added time to play until half-time. And Russia going all the way back into their own half. Been brilliant to watch Spain so comfortable in possession of the ball, but really in terms of thrills and spills we've been short of it.
No, I think Russia's a little bit you can say scared of Spain. They don't want to come out and leave gaps where we know Spain will exploit, so they've tried to keep tight. Even the one down, they just get the odd attack. They've come into the game a bit more, don't we? So Spain are still totally in control.
Kuzyaev, who's come into the team, and the news that we heard on when the Russian team news announced that Denis Cheryshev, who's scored 3 goals for them here, came on as a substitute here in the opening match when there was that injury, of course, to Alan Zagoev, who had to go off, who's been out of the tournament since. That was another blow for Russia when they had so many injuries in the build-up to the tournament. But Cheryshev came in, scored 3 goals in 2 matches, and with this change of system today, he's been left out of the team. But at only 1-0, you never know, we might see him later. Here's Fernandez, who keeps it in. Then the ball's played across and it comes off the knee of Koke and rebounds behind for a corner.
Where they're getting a bit of joy is with the wing-backs, the 2 wide lads, and what happens is Isco and Asensio don't really track them, so they let them run. The full-backs are getting narrow. There's a little bit of space developing on the flanks for Russia, and they've got another corner.
39th minute. They've had 3 corners, and now Samyudov preparing to take this from the right-hand side. 4 Russian players inside the penalty area. 3 of them are grouped beyond the penalty spot, and there are 5 Spaniards almost in a ring around them. So Samyudov with the corner to the back post. Oh, it's a header that struck the arm of Piqué, and the penalty's given for handball against Gerard Piqué. His arm was in the air, it was headed towards him, and it's been given as a penalty. Piqué, well, the Spanish players can't believe it, but Djuba headed it, and Piqué's arm, with his back to the ball, his arm was in the air, Djuba's header hit Piqué's upright arm, and it's a penalty, and it's a yellow card for Piqué as well.
I've got to say, at first you think no, but why has he kept his arm up in the air? His right arm goes down, his left arm stays in the air, and I think that's a deliberate. So I think the referee's got it right.
Well, the Spanish players are saying that he had to have his arms in the air because he was jumping. But we can see Piqué and Sergio Ramos in front of referee Kuipers. They're saying his arms had to be in the air because he was jumping aerially for it. Yeah. I mean, he had his back to Djuba when he headed it, but the arm's in the air, and the ball hits the upright arm. So it's a penalty to Russia. The host nation holds its breath because Russia have the chance to equalise against Spain at the Luzhniki, and it is Artem Djuba who's been given the responsibility to take this all-important penalty. He stands just a yard inside the penalty area, and now Samyudov is complaining because Jordi Alba's still in the box. De Gea returns to his line, and now, what a moment this is. What a moment to equalise for Russia, and he scores! It's 1-1! He sent De Gea the wrong way! What a moment! What a noise in Moscow! It's Spain 1, Russia 1!
Well, you never saw this coming, did you? Let's be honest. They've huffed and they've puffed and they've never got near, really. The Hares had nothing to do. And they've had a goal, yes. And it's been Spain who've dominated possession. 70% they've had. And all of a sudden, there you go. We get a bit of good fortune. Ball in the box. Play to his strength, Zuba. I think it's a pen. I know Spain are going to argue, but he had one arm down. Why did he leave the other arm up? He's being caught out. It's a great pen. Under pressure. 1-1.
He's a little unlucky, I'd say that. You know, the set of circumstances were such that Djuba's header hits his arm, but his arm's stretched straight up in the air. I agree with you, Chris. I think that's a penalty. When it hits an arm in that position inside the penalty area, it's not like the arms are outstretched to his side, it's up in the air. It's a penalty. Djuba scored it, which means he's now scored 3 goals at this World Cup. Who'd have thought? And it's 1-1, and now Spain have got to raise themselves here. That was always the danger. Winning 1-0, just comfortable. And now here's Jordi Alba, half-time approaching. Jordi Alba plays it into Fernandez, and the ball bounces away for Russia towards the corner flag, and Fernandez wins a throw-in off David Silva, and you can sense a little bit of belief now around the stadium. Don't look at me like that.
I look at Spain, and it's all right changing the team. But they said they're going to play a lot quicker, a bit more direct. They haven't. They've passed the ball actually more within they're not in the team. And they've not really had any ambition, Spain. All right, they've got a goal on the set piece, which was an own goal. But really, yes, they've dominated possession up to the last, 30, 40 yards of the pitch. No ambition after that.
And the coach, Stanislav Cherchesov, Stan, he couldn't look when the penalty was taken. He actually turned and looked the other way and let the crowd tell him Guillaume Balaguer's just arrived. Doesn't look that impressed, Chris. We're going to hear from Guillaume at half-time.
If you want to play possession, then yeah, you can be impressed. But you've got to sometimes think, you know what, with all this possession, we've got to have efforts at goal, whether it's shots, crosses, through balls, whatever. Headers.
I think we've got used to the fact that Guillaume, that's a late one on Jordi Alba. That wasn't a great challenge by Samyadov. I mean, Jordi Alba reacted.
He's not booking him then.
And threw himself to the ground. Samyadov is protesting his innocence. I don't think it's going to be a yellow card, and Jordi Alba's okay. He came in at force, but there was no nasty contact. No. So it's a free kick to Spain. Yeah, I get the impression that Guillaume was quite a nervy watcher of Spain over the course of the matches that we've seen. And when he turned up today, I thought he might be a little bit more relaxed, but not a bit of it. And now actually with some justification, because it's 1-1. And here is David Silva. Spain taking the lead with their own goal, the Ignashevich own goal in the 12th minute, but Russia equalising in the 42nd with that Djuba penalty. Djuba, who is now a very decent rate actually. Here, Spain though, coming with the ball. Diego Costa on the edge of the area, gives it to Isco on the left-hand side. Isco curls it goalwards, and it's blocked inside the penalty area, and the ball ricochets out of play. It actually hit Kutyapov and bounced right out for a throw-in on the left-hand side, down below us.
This is what annoys you about Spain. You know, they go 1 up and they just basically come right off the pace, possession game, no ambition to score. Now they've got it equalised. Russia's equalised. Now they've upped the tempo again. Why can't they keep the tempo decent all the time? Don't get it.
We saw this to an extent, didn't we, in Sochi in the Portugal game. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. It's Spain 1, Russia 1. And now it is Spain coming forward. The ball played through to Costa. The angle's tight. He's been able to hook it across. The goalkeeper Akinfeev got a touch as well, and it looped across the 6-yard box. And Spain were able to scramble. Russia were able to scramble it out for a throw, which has been taken quickly to Busquets. I thought, I didn't think Diego Costa was going to get to that, but he somehow got there ahead of Akinfeev from an angle on the right side of the area. And now Koke, number 8, picks out a pass aerially, taken down in the midriff by Isco. Spain have come to life here after the equaliser. Isco to the edge of the area, curls it in towards the back post. Diego Costa with a header, but no real power on that. And Akinfeev can take it easily. And Akinfeev overarms it out now to Golovin. And Djuba is trying to make ground through the middle. Golovin in possession. Golovin chips it across towards Djuba, but Ramos is there to chest it down coolly to De Gea.
Brilliant, Ramos. Absolute class. But counter-attack gets the crowd going, but Spain now go through the gears. They've put the ball in the box probably in the last 3-4 minutes than they have the whole of the first half.
Juba wasn't exactly going through the gears there, by the way.
No, I think he was...
Golovin was in possession of the far side. Juba was...
I think if you had to fill him up, it would be Diesel.
It was like watching one of the lorries on Sutton Bank in North Yorkshire. That struggled to get up the hill.
I bet he wear gloves.
Of course you do. When you fill up with diesel, you wear the plastic gloves. Everyone does. Spain 1, Russia 1. Jordi Alba playing it back to Sergio Ramos, and half-time approaching, just a few seconds away, and who would have thought that the game would still be in the balance? Spain have absolutely dominated possession. We're 1-0 up. We just thought the floodgates would likely open. Russia looked bereft of confidence, but a fortunate break for Russia. The penalty given their way. Now Juba and Sergio Ramos are tangling and pulling one another, but the half-time whistle's gone, and Juba will actually head straight off the field. So he's becoming a national hero, Artem Juba. He scored from the penalty spot. He made it 1-1. And so Russia are still in it, Chris Waddle.
They are, yeah. Well, it'd be quite easy to sum up the first half. Spain have the football for 95% of the game, and they come out now, look dangerous on the counter-attack or a set piece, and they get themselves a pen to equalise from obviously an own goal early on from a set piece. And then Spain have dominated possession, you can't say that, but they don't affect the final third, and they do now in the last 5 minutes because they've equalised, up the tempo. Spain, for me, are always at fault. They come off the pace so easy and they've let teams come back at them. So they've got to raise the tempo from the second half if they want to win this game.
So it's Spain 1, Russia 1 at half-time, and we'll take you back around the loops and the winding Moscow River to our Red Square studio where Mark Chapman is sitting. Spain have given the ball to Golovin, but Golovin not able to take advantage, passes the ball out towards the right flank. Russia have made a change, I'll tell you about that in a moment. Fernandez trying to weave his way into the penalty area, but runs into red Spanish shirts, and David Silva wins a throw in. What Russia have done is brought on another central defender, actually. It's Yuri Zhirkov who's been substituted, who is playing at left wing back, and Vladimir Granat, the number 14 from Rubin Kazan, has been brought on. So he is going to be the left-sided of the three centre-backs, and Fyodor Kudryashov has moved across to the left wing-back position. So that's the Russian change. Spain, as they started the game, De Gea in goal, Nacho, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Ramos and Jordi Alba, Koke and Busquets, David Silva, Isco, Asensio and Diego Costa. Iniesta only among the substitutes, likewise Thiago Alcantara. And the Russian side, Akinfeyev in goal, as I say, three central defenders, Kuchepov, Ignashevich and now Granat. Fernandez and now Kudryashov are the wing-backs, with Samyodov, Zobnin, Kuzyaev, Golovin and goal scorer Juba, who scored from the penalty spot to make it 1-1, and that is how it stands. Spain scoring early, Ignacevich's own goal, Russia equalising late in the half. And now the ball played in from the right-hand side by Nacho. It's chipped across by Asensio. It's gone a long way. It's deflected across the face of goal off Jordi Alba, but Akinfeyev is able to move quickly to his left. It came very quickly to Jordi Alba, and it almost hit him on the thigh as much as anything and looped goalwards.
It did, right thigh, and he's just direct on the target. There's no pace on it, so it's an easy save, but great start from Spain. They've obviously had words about the tempo because it was walking football they were playing. Yes, they can have all the possession, but they never affected the goal.
So 2 minutes played in the second half. We're live in the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. This is where the opening match of the tournament took place. It's where the final will take place 2 weeks today. And Russia with the ball on the right-hand side. Oh, Fernandez has done well to pull that ball down. He gets it back. Fernandez allows it to run actually to Kuzyaev. Now the cross from the right-hand side, and Koke had to be back in position, but he was for Spain. They headed up and away out of the penalty area at least. Busquets then clears it further, and now it's whacked by Kutyapov high out towards the left-hand side. Kudryashov will do well to keep it in, and actually it deflects out of play for a throw-in to Spain halfway inside their own half. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see Russia's top scorer at this World Cup, or at least now their joint top scorer, Denis Cheryshev, who was being prepared, or at least certainly seemed to be going through rigorous warm-ups during the course of the half-time break, left out of the starting lineup for this game with the change of system. And actually, we're going to see a drop ball.
I don't know why.
And it's been put out of play by Djuba.
Spain's got a couple warming up. They've got Thiago and Iniesta warming up.
So we just need to see a little bit more positivity from Spain. Move the ball.
Yeah, move the ball quicker. A little more options. At the minute, it's walking football. They're playing in front of Russia. Russia have dealt with them very, very comfortably. Let's be honest. So it's up to Spain here, because Russia's going to play this certain style counter-attack. But it's up to Spain to up the tempo if they want to take the lead again.
We know France and Uruguay are already through to the quarter-finals. This is the third of the last 16 matches. We'll have commentary live from Nizhny Novgorod later. The attractive city of Nizhny Novgorod, as we well know from having been there ourselves during the course of this World Cup. Croatia-Denmark is the match there tonight, so Croatia obviously the strong favourites. That'll be with Pat Nevin and Ian Dennis live from the stadium. And then tomorrow, commentaries at 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock UK time. Brazil-Mexico and Belgium-Japan live from Samara and Rostov on the day that Wimbledon begins across the BBC tomorrow. You can listen, watch or follow it online over the course of the next couple of weeks with us at the BBC. Here's Nacho on the right. Nacho and Asensio, little late challenge, just came in from Golovin. It's a free kick to Spain here on the right flank. It's just Nacho, just caught.
It was a foul, but it'll be interesting to see how long Russia can keep this tempo. They've been really working hard to try and get that ball back, frustrate Spain.
Yes, Russia with currently 30%. Spain 70% of the ball, Russia 30. And it's a free kick to Spain on the right. Koke is going to take the number 8, the one-club man with Atletico Madrid. Here's Koke's delivery in towards the penalty spot, which is headed by Sergio Ramos goalwards, but it is high over the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick to Russia. So the score is 1-1. Russia, who are into the group stages of the World Cup for the first time since Soviet days, for the first time since you were playing in the World Cup in 1986, when they were, of course, the Soviet Union. Never got beyond the group stage since they reverted to the name of Russia. And they are still in it, despite the fact that on the face of it, Spain look vastly superior in terms of possession. Russia managed to haul themselves back into it with a fortunate break in the terms of the fact that Djuba's header hit Piqué's arm, which was stretched up in the air from the corner. Penalty given, Djuba scored it, and now we are level at 1-1 and in the second half of the match.
And if you actually look at it, John, player-wise, it's like Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona.
And here's Nacho down the right-hand side. Nacho of Real Madrid onto his left foot, crossing towards the penalty spot, where Kucherpov is able to dive across and head it away in front of Diego Costa, who's barely had a sniff of the goal. That effort that was blocked by the goalkeeper from an angle late in the first half was it. Now they're coming forward with David Silva into the penalty area. That's a superbly timed challenge inside the box by Kucherpov, and he's able to clear it away towards the halfway line. Cheers from the home supporters. 80,000 people are thereabouts in. This is the absolutely must-have ticket at the World Cup if you're a Russian football supporter. And it's so far okay with a scoreline of 1-1. Okay, and here's Koke. But Isco is dispossessed, and then it's given away centrally. Comes to absolutely nothing. Granat, the substitute. David Silva tries to slip it through to the edge of the area, and that slid out of play for a throw into Spain on the far side.
I tell you what they're doing well, Russia, though. When Spain do get decent possession, they go to thread that ball through out for Costa, Run, or whoever Isco may be. They've read the pass well. They've anticipated where it's going, and they've intercepted a lot of passes.
Yeah, and now Nacho again as Spain start on the right-hand side. Here's Asensio. Asensio on the right flank. Here he goes, back onto his left foot, of course. Swings it towards the back post where Isco heads it across. Diego Costa was waiting. It's headed out. Busquets shoots, although slices a shot that lacked any power, and Russia were able to clear it away quite easily and simply downfield to Gerard Piqué, who passes it back to De Gea, who chips it out to Ramos, who heads it in field to Busquets, and they had to be careful there, but that was a brilliant period of possession. Silva was involved, Jordi Alba, now Isco is blatantly tugged back. by Fernandez, and that's a yellow card.
Got to be.
And that could have been, if they'd scored from that, that would have been magical.
You don't get much better than that. There was a little bit of risk to it, to say the least, but they came through. You've got to say Spain, I think Russia are feeling the pace. They have come off the pace a lot. And Spain have upped the tempo slightly, not a lot, a little bit, but I think Russia's starting to feel the pace of the game.
It's actually Kuchepov who pulled the shirt of Isco, so it's a yellow card for Kuchepov. Free kick for Spain, out towards the left-hand side. 5 Live at the World Cup, live from Moscow. Spain 1, Russia 1. Isco, who's going to deliver this with his left foot, or is that Asensio? Asensio. Isco is in a central position. Here's the delivery from Asensio, but it's cleared away. The right boot of Granat, and now it's thumped forward for Golovin to chase, but it was always Jordi Alba who was the favourite to get there, having sprinted across the pitch at full tilt, and he is able to get the ball down, and Spain are back in possession. And the tall figure, the great Fernando Hierro, now the acting coach, after being brought in to replace Julen Lopetegui just before the World Cup. He was applauding as well. Hierro, he of the furrowed brow and heavy eyebrows, is standing white-shirted with his hand on his chin, watching this Spanish side, labouring somewhat in front of 80,000 people, and actually the King of Spain's here as well. King Felipe is sitting alongside Gianni Infantino, but no Vladimir Putin. Wonder if I'm sure he had a very good reason for not being here. I'm sure it wasn't fearing the worst, but it is not turning out like that. Isco on the left-hand side. Isco, attempted flick by Diego Costa. Russia back in possession. Zuba's running it forward, but he runs into red shirts. Russia in the all-white kit today with the blue trim, and then a crossfield pass by Sergio Ramos is nowhere near anyone in a red shirt. It's out of play for a throw-in halfway inside the Russian half. 1-1.
Russia are slowing the game down as much as possible. Look, throw in now, no rush to take it. They're feeling the pace. They put a massive shift in first half, closing Spain down, intercepting the balls, running, chasing, blocking angles, lanes off. It's been difficult for them. They're feeling the pace.
So the throw-in eventually is taken by Kudryashov, this late developer in his 30s who really came to international football relatively late in his career under coach Cherchesov. They've worked the ball out to Fernandez now on the right-hand side, the Brazilian-born right wing-back as he is today, but he turns and plays it back into his own half to Kuchepov. And then here's the 38-year-old Ignashevich in the centre of the defence. Ignashevich, who had resisted calls to come back to play in this World Cup, but they were desperate and he agreed to come, and here he is starting every match at the World Cup. Scored an own goal in this one, but a long pass downfield, and Sergio Ramos has been forced to concede a corner.
He thought it was a foul. He thought he got a push there in the back, which he probably had a little bit of a claim, to be honest. He miskicks the clearance, it goes out to a corner, and again you can see the threat they've got from set pieces.
Samyedov and Golovin are in discussions there, the two of them. Golovin, who it's now been quite widely reported might be on his way to Chelsea, so we might be seeing a great deal more of Russia's number 17 in the Premier League next season. But here he is involved with the atmosphere building, swirling around the huge bowl of the Luzhniki Stadium down below us, as the corner is taken by Samyedov to the near post, but that's swept away by Diego Costa, but he's just given it back to Fernandez. Fernandez now crossing for Russia, but that's headed away securely by Nacho, and Golovin is caught in possession, but he does well. Golovin gets up, wins the ball back, and then the free kick's given against him, so Spain have the ball in front of their own penalty area. A little pass in field from David Silva. Just over half an hour to play, and it's Spain 1, Russia 1. Didn't expect extra time in this one, did we?
I don't think anybody did they? They all thought this was sort of a bit of a tricky game for Spain, but they've come through it quite comfortably. So it's,
I did say to you, don't book that Georgian restaurant too early.
Well,
and you wouldn't have it, would you?
You wouldn't get it anyway. It's in Tbilisi.
Yes, Diego Costa on the left-hand side. Diego Costa passing the ball back into the penalty area. Isco takes it on, shoots from the angle, but there were 3 Russian defenders and Akinfeyev there, and they blocked it behind for what is actually Spain's first corner of the match.
Now, could he not have hit that first time? It was a good pull back from the byline. Could he not just swing his left foot at it?
It's a corner. And somebody's, just as he was about to take it, one of our Russian friends threw the ball down from the stands, and Isco didn't take terribly kindly to that. He's whacked it. He almost whacked it onto the top tier. So Isco's ready now, takes the corner into the near post, and that's headed away by Big Dzyuba. Safely and securely clears the Russian lines, and it's back towards the halfway line, where Spain have to start again from inside their own half. There was a touch of frustration, wasn't there, in Isco?
Just a little bit.
Volleying the ball.
Nearly got into the private boxes, didn't he?
It did, yeah. Behind one of the goals. There's actually some spare seats in that thin level of corporate seats. Maybe the sun's too hot in that area because it isn't direct sunshine. Maybe they're inside watching it from behind smoked glass. Spain 1, Russia 1. Here's Asensio on the right-hand side. Spain are parked inside Russian territory. Now Sergio Ramos to the left-hand side. Isco comes short. Ramos gets it back again. Ramos, one of the string of Champions League winners this season in this Spanish squad. Here's Gerard Piqué, winner of the Spanish League with Barcelona this season, almost runaway winners of that. He's got his black Spanish socks pulled right up over his knees. Now to Sergio Ramos again. Isco is going to start off on a little run over there. Jordi Alba's available. Isco, then back to Sergio Ramos infield, who's halfway inside the Russian half. Back it goes towards Piqué, who's near the centre circle. I think we're going to be seeing Cheryshev very shortly. Here's Nacho with the cross from the right-hand side. David Silva got up, actually got his head to it, but glanced it well wide of the goal.
Not better by Spain now. John have played a higher tempo and pushed Russia back, who are feeling the pace.
But here is Denis, the hero of Russia, Denis Cheryshev, who grew up in Spain, moved there when he was 5 years old. His father was transferred to Sporting Gijón, and he ended up growing up in Spain. He was at Gijón as a youngster, and he ended up now at Villarreal. And listen to this cheer. I think the whole of Russia is hanging its hat on Denis Cheryshev, who trots onto the field. He was actually at Real Madrid for quite a period of time too, hardly played for them, but he knows everyone in this Spanish squad. And Russia, as Cheryshev is cheered onto the pitch, and he's replaced Samedov. So Samedov making way. That's the second Russian change, and Cheryshev is taking up a position here on the left-hand side. The number 6 as he's wearing at this World Cup. Here now with the score at 1-1. Koke is giving it away. That's a poor pass. He was trying to find Jordi Alba. Spain are definitely giving Russia a bit of encouragement here with one or two wayward passes. They're just a little sloppy around the edges.
I think it's time for me to get Iniesta on. The game's open now, really open. Russia feeling the pace. They've dropped off. There's a lot of space. Iniesta with his quality and vision, he should be coming on the pitch now.
Yeah, Iniesta, who has not scored at a tournament. Amazing this, isn't it? Iniesta's not scored at a tournament, World Cup, European Championship, since he scored the winner in the final in Johannesburg in 2010. 1-1 it is, and this match, amazingly, is in the balance. Piqué in the centre circle. We're at the last half hour now, and it's still 1-1. Nacho to Koke. And across it goes, but Spain just not moving the ball quickly here, just the slow, but they're lacking the quick. Isco then gives it away, and every time this happens, Russia gain more confidence. Dzyuba now to the right-hand side where Fernandez throws himself down, and the challenge came in on him from Sergio Ramos, everybody's public enemy number 1, and it's a free kick that has been given, but not a great deal in it.
Well, makes a meal of it. The referee buys it.
So it's a free kick to Russia. Again, Russia in absolutely no hurry here. They will take this as a scoreline all the way to the 120th minute if they can. 1-1. Ignashevich waiting to take this in his orange boots. High ball to the edge of the area. Dzyuba gets his head to it. Oh, and it's a slip at the crucial moment by Kudryashov, and it's behind 4.
I'm really surprised, John, that Spain, with all their know-how and experience. They've got so much that when they're going to play a long ball up to Dzyuba, why don't they put one in front and one behind? They let them get a run, let them go to head it, get somebody in front of them.
Spain 1, Russia 1. 5 Live at the World Cup. Every morning when you wake up, you can download the 5 Live World Cup daily podcast. I think Didier Drogba features on today's podcast. You can get it via the 5 Live website, the BBC Sport website. Spain coming forward now with Diego Costa, head down into the penalty area on the left-hand side. But the flag's up very belatedly for an offside. And it's a free kick to Russia, half inside their own half. And actually, Russia are going to make their final change now, their third change, with over 25 minutes to play. And I don't know if Dzyuba has got a problem. I think you can only assume that he has, because it is Dzyuba who is being withdrawn, the man who scored the penalty to equalise, who's now got 3 goals at this World Cup. Dzyuba in his 4 appearances, and he will be replaced by Fyodor Smolov, the Krasnodar striker, who was quite strongly linked to West Ham in January, but is still playing here in Russia for Krasnodar. So that's it. 3 changes made.
He scored 2 against Spain in November, didn't he?
That's right. That's a very good point.
So maybe he's thought he's had a bit of joy against them 2 centre-halves. He's more mobile. He's not obviously a target man. In fact, he scored 2 against Spain in November and a 3-3 draw. He's had not one shot in 11 minutes in this World Cup so far.
So Smolov is on, the number 10, to win his 36th cap. 12 goals in his previous 35. 1-1, and we are going to see Iniesta, I think, very shortly for Spain. Jordi Alba pulls the ball right across the edge of the penalty area, but no one gets a touch, either in white or a red shirt. Piqué loses out to the newly arrived Smolov on the halfway line. Now here's Golovin. Fernandez arrives on the right, and white shirts pouring forward now. Cheryshev makes himself available on the edge of the penalty area. Smolov has taken up a position at the back post. Now into the penalty area, and this could be dangerous. Sergio Ramos in with a challenge, but the ball runs behind, and referee Kuipers says Golovin was extremely optimistic if he thinks that was going to result in a penalty.
His left foot gives way in the turf and he slips over, and he didn't ask for one, so be fair to him, he got up. So here comes Iniesta.
So here we are, Iniesta, Andres Iniesta, left out of the starting lineup today, and it's David Silva, another one of the elder statesmen who's going to make way. David Silva's just won his 125th cap, and Iniesta, Andres Iniesta, comes on for Spain, and this is number 131 for him.
Well, David Silva, we know, runs games for Man City a lot of times, and what a great player he is, but he struggled today to get in the game.
And Andres Iniesta makes what is his 30th appearance at either a World Cup or a European Championship finals, and only Iker Casillas, the great goalkeeper, and Sergio Ramos have managed to play in as many games as that on these biggest stages of all in international football. Spain 1, Russia 1. And still Russia, really, in terms of, look at Akinfeev in the Russian goal, has had relatively little to do. They've just not been able to make the Russian goalkeeper have to work, despite all of this possession. What is it now? 71% possession Spain have got.
And they've had 8 shots and 3 on target.
Diego Costa's been something of an isolated figure. And here's Piqué, and we've seen any number of passes from side to side in the central third of the field from Spain. Isco, now square again to Sergio Ramos. It's square to Koke. Isco, little pass forward, but then square from Koke again, who mops his brow with the right sleeve of his red Spanish shirt. Jordi Alba on the left-hand side, back towards Sergio Ramos. Now Isco again, in this quite deep position for him. Koke then goes back into the centre circle. I can see that Fernando Hierro is talking to Dani Carvajal, who has the much taller Hierro towering over him with a huge brawny arm around his shoulders. Still Spain keeping possession. Koke. Russia with everybody behind the ball. They will happily take this. They get to extra time. That's a triumph for Russia. Jordi Alba again on the left-hand side. Back it comes. How many times have we seen Spain pass the ball from right to left to right to left? Now Piqué. Here it goes to the right again. They might even get into the defensive third here. But no, Isco turns back and back it goes towards Koke. Koke square towards Sergio Ramos, puts his foot on the ball, passes it forward. Iniesta gets a touch. Then it's back to Jordi Alba. And now Iniesta again. And then Jordi Alba loses possession. Huge cheers because Russia have the ball again. Kuchepov hits an aerial ball, but it's no good. Zuba's not there anymore. Although Jordi Alba had to be quick, but he was. And he was able to play it back towards De Gea. Chris Waddle.
It's called a really screen wiper formation, isn't it? Just goes whoosh, whoosh, back. You've got to take risks sometimes, and they don't. It's not the Spanish way. They just want to keep possession, wait the time, and yes, I can see why people say at times it's boring, it's too slow, but they believe that if you've got the ball, you can't be hurt.
Nacho off, Dani Carvajal on, so that's a straight swap. As Dani Carvajal comes on to win his 18th cap. Okay. Spain back in possession. Iniesta up towards Diego Costa, bounced off Costa, and that meant that Russia could get a touch on it. It's all the way back into the full-back position. Fernandez has cleared it, and then Isco's touch is heavy, and so Russia have possession back in their own 6-yard box. Chipped for Smolov through the middle, and Smolov with a stretch, and actually Fernandez has caught Jordi Alba. That must have been a little late because the ball had gone when Jordi Alba went down on the far side.
Yeah, look.
Fernandez just with a knee in the back of his leg.
You've got to yell it. So
it's Zobnin.
Yep.
Zobnin it was who put the challenge in. Jordi Alba hasn't needed the medical people on, so he's able to get up. Looking a little laboured as he does so, but he's all right. And Spain are back in possession again, so the normal service is resumed. Koke back to Sergio Ramos. I mean, this is how they rack up these passing statistics, which are way and beyond anyone else at this World Cup when you looked at the group stages of the competition. And now Spain, the Spanish side, unbeaten in 23 matches, lose possession, but that pass forward is nowhere near.
They're getting tired, John. Listen, they're sitting back, and people think, well, how can you get tired? But your concentration levels have got to be spot on. They're working side to side. They're constantly running.
We're just seeing Nacho actually sitting on the bench on one of our screens here, and he's got some icing on that left knee, which was caught early on in the match, so maybe he's had to go off and be replaced by Carvajal, which is the reason for that change by Fernando Hierro. So 5 Live from the BBC, and the ball swung out of play by Spain, so it's a throw in to Russia halfway inside their own half. This is BBC 5 Live. Earlier on Sports Extra, if you missed the Grand Prix, it was won by Max Verstappen with Raikkonen second, Vettel third, and Vettel is now back on top of the Drivers' Championship because Lewis Hamilton failed to finish. And the cricket, the Women's Tri-Series final, you can hear on BBC, on the website, BBC Sport Online, live from Chelmsford. BBC Radio bringing you commentary on every match at this World Cup, either on 5 Live, Sports Extra, or on the website. And here, it's not been a thriller, Chris, has it, by any means?
No, it's definitely not. Well, obviously, Russia came, parked the bus, and thought, we'll catch on a set piece or a break, and it worked for them. And they've done it all the second half. They've set deep, they're not letting Spain get in behind. They're cutting all the lanes off into the forwards or into the midfield players who try and get behind the midfield. They're cutting the lanes off. It's very difficult to break them down.
Ball played forward towards Diego Costa, but Ignashevich comes across, and he was just nervous of the fact that Costa was nearby. He was looking to pile it out of play, but he sliced it behind, and it's a corner to Spain. You just reminded me, I meant to look up what the Russian was for park the bus.
He's not listening.
I'll tell him again in a minute. It's producer Gary. It's a corner from the left-hand side that is going to be taken by Asensio. Asensio, left-footed out, swing out of the near post, which got a touch off the head. It's been won back by Diego Costa, but then it's hammered away downfield by Kudryashov. Yes, I think Masha, who's been brilliant looking after us here in Russia, I don't think she's too far away. She will know exactly how to say park the bus in Russian. Gary's not looking very confident with that. Here's Koke in the centre circle. Russia. The crowd can sense that this Russian team need their support. Isco. A little flick from him in field where it was taken on by Jordi Alba. Now Asensio back to Isco, his clubmate. Isco with Russia, everyone behind the ball in the defensive third. There's a run by Carvajal down the right hand side, but it's still near the halfway line with Koke. Now Piqué. Sergio Ramos plays it towards the left-hand side. Jordi Alba is there. Isco now begins to move in from the left touchline. Isco moving across the field from left to right. But Koke, it's almost like a nervous reaction. As soon as Koke gets the ball, back it goes into the centre circle. Back to Koke. No, he goes out wide this time to the right-hand side. And then Carvajal. Back to Koke, who is going to go into the centre circle. I knew it. I knew it couldn't last for long. Sergio Ramos to Jordi Alba on the left-hand side. And now Iniesta. Gerard Piqué picks out Isco, who's come all the way across from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. Koke goes square to Busquets. Busquets now, as the Russian defence is pulled from one side to the other. Iniesta, though, if there's anyone who can play the killer pass, it's him. Diego Costa tried to give it back to Iniesta, but it came to nothing.
It's like a training ground game now, isn't it? How would you break the team down? How would you try and score?
But Russia, without question, this is a case of Pripakovat Autobus. Ball played over the top for Jordi Alba, but it's hooked away by Fernandez, who will see the ball bounce and volley it straight out of play on the halfway line. 15 minutes to play.
It used to be a ventriloquist.
Just this Russian language just comes very naturally to me. We've learned, haven't we, that the word for bread is chlyeb, which we are using probably more than any other Russian word. That
it rhymes a bit with Jürgen Klipp.
So here's Iniesta. We're into the last 15 minutes now. We are 15 minutes away from extra time in a match of few chances, an own goal and a penalty, and it's 1-1. Here's Sergio Ramos now.
Good chess players in there, Russia, aren't they?
Yes, they are, yes. Got a bit of history there. Diego Costa loses possession. Smolov hits him on the heels. Now it's played by Golovin to the right-hand side, but Zobnin can't keep it in, and it's a throw.
Oh, imagine there.
Because it is increasingly looking as though we're going to have extra time for you in the Luzhniki. Still time, though, for a winner. Russia would be the strong favourites to get it if they actually created a chance. Spain won, Russia won.
You've got to get over the halfway line to create a chance, haven't you?
Iniesta, World Cup winner, European Championship winner. They're dotted all around this Spanish team and this Spanish squad. At this World Cup, which has lost Germany, which has lost Argentina, which has lost Portugal, but there are still plenty of big hitters left in the competition, but not necessarily so in Spain's half of the draw, which includes England. And we will be on the other side of Moscow, or at least on the north side of Moscow, at the Spartak Stadium on Tuesday night. 5 Live will be the place to hear England's game against Colombia. 7 o'clock kickoff UK time. Spain are going absolutely nowhere here, other than from right to left.
Sub coming on.
Iago Aspas. He's a player who might be able to make it happen, as he did, of course, against Morocco. Here's Iniesta now. Isco's challenged on the edge of the area. There's no space once Spain get to the edge of the Russian penalty area, and the Russians have got the ball back inside their own half. Up it goes towards Smolov, who heads it to the right, and now the ball is played forward by Fernandez, but just bounces out of play for a throw into Spain inside their own territory. Just over 10 minutes to play. So that news, you've just joined us. We've just heard that Andy Murray has had to withdraw from this year's Wimbledon, so will not be involved. So that's the news from back home. Here in Moscow, Diego Costa makes way. He's had a frustrated afternoon, Diego Costa, and he's replaced by Iago Aspas.
Well, you feel for him, John, in a way that he doesn't get any service. He makes little runs, but they've packed the defence today. It's Russia. They've had people in front, the three centre halves. You can't get near the centre forward.
Yeah, but
he's
Spain,
been willing.
Spain haven't done enough though.
No, because when they get away, they don't like other teams. They don't cross it. They don't take a risk. It's like no risk football.
Spain won, Russia won. And I barely made a note in the first half. We had the deflected effort that hit Jordi Alba. It's probably going wide actually. Saved by Akinfaya.
But they don't shoot neither. They get within 25, 20 yards, they don't shoot.
There's a cross from the right from Carvajal is far too close to Akinfaya, who caught that very, very easily. It was nowhere near Iago Aspas. But at least that's finally something into the opposition penalty area. 10 minutes, we're into the last 10 minutes of the match. What would make it very interesting is if Russia were able to get the ball off Spain and get down the other end and win a set piece. But
I think the Russian coach is hoping that as well.
I think the whole of Russia is hoping that.
74% now possession.
I'm not bracing myself for a classic extra time either. Here's Piqué. This match is on BBC television. It's on BBC One. If you're on your way home, you can watch the pictures. You can listen to Steve Wilson and Kevin Kilban, who are just in front of us here. Or you can listen to our commentary via the red button matched up with the television pictures. As the ball's played forward towards Aspas, and a sliding cramp challenge by Kuchepov deflects it behind for a corner, and Kuchepov remains on the ground.
He's got cramp. Say they've worked ever so hard. I know it's not pretty this game. It's not been the best game. But Russia have obviously got a game plan and they've stuck to it.
I don't blame Russia.
No, I don't.
The lowest ranked team at this World Cup, the host nation, they have to cut their cloth accordingly.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And it's not pretty, but they are what they are. Corner. Kuchepov is okay. He's got on his feet. Here's the corner for Spain. Oh, chance for Busquets. Well, he mishit it. And there was a double deflection, and the ball's been volleyed out of play for a throw-in here on the right-hand side. That fell very invitingly for Sergio Busquets. And the referee just blown his wheel. We're not going to have a VAR. Yeah, we are. We're having a VAR check here. Check for a possible penalty for a handball by the Russian defender.
Play on.
And they are satisfied that there was no handball. I think the question was against Ignashevich, who's already scored an own goal in this match. If he'd had a penalty given against him there, that would have been a nightmare afternoon for the 38-year-old, but they dealt with it very quickly. And actually, I don't think referee Kuipers, I think he had a decent view of that. Here now with the ball on the right-hand side, which is swung across by Koke, and Isco is after it. Little Isco, but Kuchepov got his head to it first. It's out for a throw on the far side.
See, I don't know why Spain don't do that a lot more, John, because they've got quality. They can deliver. You can see the way they pass the ball. They can put a cross in, get a couple of shirts in. It's a bit of a risk, but you may just land on one of your players' heads and it's a goal.
We've just seen a replay there of the VAR check. Ignashevich was stretching forward, ball caught him on the upper left chest, and quite correct, it wasn't a handball. We've barely seen a VAR check in this match. Here's Fernandez, who does well for Russia against Iniesta inside the penalty area, turns and is able to pass the ball away. But of course you're not going to have VAR checks if the ball is hardly ever in the penalty area. Ball's out of play for a throw-in to Russia, and we've got 7 minutes to play. What was that? 711 passes?
711 to their
794
completed, or 719 against 162 completed.
Spain with 719 passes completed to Russia's 162. Iniesta now with a run towards the edge of the penalty area. Aspas is after it, but it breaks down on the edge of the box, and Iniesta actually has stayed down. It's been whacked out of play by Golovin for a throw on the far side. Iniesta is back up onto his feet. So the ball's back in play with a throw in. With 6 minutes to play. We're 6 minutes away from extra time here. I can hardly believe it. Now Jordi Alba on the left-hand side. Jordi Alba with the cross. It's deflected out to Iniesta, who shoots. It's saved by Akinfeev. Then Aspas shoots across the face of goal, and Akinfeev got a touch on that as well. He was shooting Aspas from a very tight angle, and I don't think it was on target actually from Aspas, but it was by Iniesta.
Great position, and you just think if you catch it right, you'll score. Unfortunately, another one dropping the cramp for Russia.
It's the same one actually, isn't it? Well, no, it's not. It's Kudryashov who is going to need some treatment. But there, suddenly, a chance in the D for Iniesta, and a smart save by the Russian goalkeeper.
All the players run across, look, the Spanish players, not for information, a drink. It's a good save actually, you see the replay.
Spain 1, Russia 1. That save from Akinfeev has kept Russia in the World Cup.
Kirchhoff is telling his team to get up the field. They can't get up the field. He saw 2 players drop with cramp. They're just playing on memory at the minute, and they're doing well at it. Don't get us wrong, they're defending very well.
Kudryashov, this strapping, shaven-headed defender, has had his treatment for cramp. So we'll have time added on. We're into the last 5 minutes now on this sultry afternoon in the Russian capital, very close to the Moscow River. It's really just a few hundred yards away from where we sit here in amongst the trees. The Moscow University is high on the hill on the other side of the river from the stadium. And inside the ground, the Russian supporters are trying to see their team through to extra time. Russia have come into this game with limited ambition. If they can get into extra time, then they'll feel they might be able to take this to a penalty shootout. And Russia have got to be careful. It's been given away by Sergio Ramos. Smolov now carrying the ball through the middle, plays it to Golovin. Oh, it's been lost by Sergio Ramos and Jordi Alba, but that was because there was a foul by Golovin, and it's a free kick to Spain inside their own box. Nervy moment for the Spanish.
Give the ball away, Ramos stretching. I thought he was offside when he plays it, and he is offside, but we're getting the benefit of a replay. He's well offside. I can't believe the linesman hasn't stuck his flag up, and I know he's not allowed to.
That would have been an interesting...
It may hurt his arm, that.
If Russia had broken through there and put it in the net, that would have been a very interesting VAR call.
You don't realise Putin's sitting there today, that's why he's not in the stand.
I don't think we can say that.
Oh, just tough.
Spain 1, Russia 1. Aspas, square to Iniesta. We've got 3 minutes plus added time. I think we're going to have extra time, Chris.
Yeah.
Get on the phone to that Georgian restaurant. Here's Ramos, back to Iniesta. Will there be one more chance? Will there be a chance? Piqué. Now to the right-hand side. Asensio is there. Isco rolls his foot over the ball. Asensio to Carvajal. Asensio blocks it up into the air. Then there's a wrestling match between Isco and Cheryshev, and it's a free kick to Spain on the right-hand side. I mean, so much for the hope of Cheryshev coming onto the field. We simply haven't seen him in an attacking sense. But it's a free kick, set piece, and this is an opportunity for Spain to snatch it. Anxious now, nervy. 2 minutes to go. Spain surely have to play the ball into the penalty area.
They will.
Asensio is talking to Isco. He's got his hand over his mouth in that way. It's a touch by Asensio. Isco takes it on. Isco now plays it in, but it hits immediately into Kuzyaev, and it's a corner to Spain. Here on the right-hand side, down to our right, a couple of cameramen, or a cameraman and a sound man in their grey and blue outfit, just hovering around next to where this corner is going to be taken. It's Koke who's come across to take it. We're very nearly into the 90th minute. The score is 1-1 on 5 Live. We're seeing the usual pushing and shoving. as Koke takes the corner towards the penalty spot. There's a double deflection. I think the final one was off Piqué.
Corner.
Onto the defender. It's another corner from the left. Fifth one for Spain. All of them have been in the second half. It's going to be an in-swinger from Isco, right on the far side of the Luzhniki from where we are. Raises his left arm, and then a delay. Now he takes it. It's flicked on by Iniesta, and then it's hacked away, right-footed by Kutyapov, who just gave it the heave-ho and sent it out of play for another corner to Spain. And there's a ball on the pitch, so Carvajal has to come across and scoop it off the field. Isco's going to take another one. We are now in the 90th minute. Spain score now, it's all over. In it comes from Isco, player's gone down. Sergio Ramos heads it over the top of the bar, and the Russian defender, who's lying on his back, has barely moved. It's Kutyapov, who's suffering from cramp again. So we've got Ignashevich, who's 38, playing alongside Kutyapov, who's 24, and Kudryashov, who is 31. And Ignashevich seems to be in the best shape of the lot. 4 minutes of added time, then we're into them. Extra time.
Yeah, looks like extra time this. I mean, Spain's got all the ball. Russia just playing on memory at the minute. The ball dropped, 3 or 4 of them are dropping with cramp all over the park. But Spain just can't create anything.
Russia, for once, actually have committed players downfield here. Golovin plays it to the right-hand side. Once the whistle goes, we'll have more on that news from Russell Fuller, that Andy Murray is out of this year's Wimbledon. We'll have more on that at the end of the regulation time in this last 16 match at the World Cup, which does seem to be heading for extra time. De Gea with the ball inside his 6-yard box. Talk about a goalkeeper being a spectator in a half of football. How many times has De Gea touched the ball in this second half?
I can't remember. I think 4 or 5 times, if that.
Throw in for Russia. Can you imagine if Russia scored? Kudryashov with a throw-in down into the Spanish right-back area. They're not going to score like that, as Smolov can only deflect it through for a goal kick. We're in the second minute of the 4 of added time at the end of this first half. This is going to be the first match at World Cup 2018 to go into extra time, and Russia are still in it. There are 14 teams still standing at this World Cup, and the hosts are one of them. Ball played out to Jordi Alba, and they've simply not created enough. That's the story for Spain. And Russia are coming forward, and Cheryshev is making a run now into the full-back position. Cheryshev pulls it back, but he pulls it back. There was no one there in a white shirt for Russia. Koke was able to move across and take possession without being challenged, and Spain will pass it away from inside their own half, but that is intercepted by Kudryashov, and Kudryashov now holds it up on the edge of the penalty area, gives it to Smolov. Smolov shoots, curls it wide of the far post. Didn't threaten De Gea's goal.
Sloppy play by Busquets, wasn't it? It was a pass in between 2 players they didn't know, no talking, no communication. And Russia, they seem to get a lot of energy when they get the ball off Spain. When they haven't got it, they look so tired.
We're in the 3rd minute of added time. I think that is Russia's first attempt at goal in the second half. And it is Spain 1, Russia 1. So settle down for extra time, everyone. It's on BBC Television if you're on your way home on this Sunday afternoon stroke evening. And Russia with Ignashevich, the ageing veteran Ignashevich, getting up high and heading it away. Now Piqué gets his chest to it, and Carvajal is going to play it all the way back into central defence. And I think that probably the players now, with 3 minutes, we are into the 4th minute of added time, are accepting of the fact that we are going to have additional time. Another 30 minutes to play as Isco plays it back towards the halfway line. Piqué and then Isco. Are Spain going to have a final goal? Ramos, Iniesta exchange short passes. Ramos then plays it back to Piqué. We're into the last 30 seconds now. Isco just to A rolling ball out to the right-hand side to Koke. Koke back in field towards Isco. Isco now rolls his foot beautifully over the ball and then passes it wide to Koke, and Koke's cross curling along the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Fernandez. We've got just seconds left of these 4 minutes. Busquets will not take it any further. The final whistle goes, and it will be extra time. Russia, the host nation, have taken the 2010 world champions all the way to extra time. 1-1.
Well, it's definitely not a classic, put it that way. It's not a great game to watch, and it's all Spain on the ball, but they're playing so slow. It's very easy for Russia to get the shape behind the ball, play on the counter-attack. They've had that odd moment on the break, and we really mean an odd moment. Spain, for me, have got to be more positive. We're crossing the ball a bit earlier, shooting a bit earlier, and they may get the rewards. But at the minute, you can see this going all the way to a shootout.
You can, most certainly. It is Spain 1, Russia 1 here in the Luzhniki Stadium. Yep, no further changes, and this is the first World Cup when teams can make a fourth substitution in extra time of matches, but neither Stanislav Cherchesov nor Fernando Hierro have done that yet. So Spain getting the first half of extra time underway. The score is 1-1. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. You can also listen to us and watch the pictures via the red button. Spain with De Gea in goal. Now their back four is Carvajal, Piqué, Ramos and Jordi Alba. In midfield, Koke and Busquets, Isco, Iniesta, Asensio and Iago Aspas. Costa, David Silva and Nacho were substituted. And the Russian side, Spain in possession, it's exactly the same pattern as the second half, and in actual fact Spain are playing in the same direction as they were in the second half, although it's slipped through nicely to Iago Aspas, left side of the area. He's pulled it back towards Carvajal, who is in there, but Carvajal on the stretch couldn't get a touch. There was at least one defender as well putting in the challenge, and it's out of play for a throw.
Great ball by Isco, wasn't it? Great vision, great run by Aspas, and he pulls it back. He just can't get it on the target, but Isco again. Everything Spain do, which is positive for me in the final third, normally comes through Isco.
I think as well, Iago Aspas for me just brings a little bit more vitality, just looks a little bit more sharper.
Yes.
Yeah, a bit more
mobility.
Yeah. 30 years old now, Iago Aspas. 23 goals for Celta Vigo this season. Got excellent record in recent seasons, goal scoring with Celta Vigo, and he's now the main striker with Diego Costa having gone off. And the Russian team, Akinfeyev in goal, made a very good late save in the second half from Iniesta. Three central defenders, Kutyapov, Ignashevich and Granat, with Kudryashov and Fernandez, the wing-backs, and then Zobnin, Kuzyaev, Cheryshev, Golovin and Smolov came on to replace Djuba up front. Here's Jordi Alba, shoots from 25 yards but straight into the defender on the edge of the area. Then it's taken on by Isco. Jordi Alba's still on the ground and actually suggesting that he's injured. He's got cramp. Spain nevertheless are back in possession. Jordi Alba's climbing to his feet just outside the box. Spain with Fernando Hierro, the tall Fernando Hierro, the great Real Madrid man, finished his career at Bolton, standing watching with his hand on his elbow. And here is Iniesta now near the edge of the penalty area. Isco tries to curl across a pass towards Carvajal here, but it's deflected to Asensio, and then Asensio's ball goes one way, Aspas went the other, and Ignashevich was able to step in for Russia. Russia in the all-white kit with the blue trim, blue numbers on the back. Spain, their first choice colours, red shirts with the yellow trim, the sunshine colours of Spain, the blue shorts and black socks. And it has been a rearguard action by Russia during the course of the game. And you're looking at pictures of Jordi Alba, who
he was lying on the ground getting cramp, and as he turned around the ball hit him in the head.
Here's Carvajal on the right hand side. Back it goes to Koke. And Koke, I think he's magnetically drawn to passing the ball to Sergio Ramos in the centre circle. Isco on the left hand side. Isco is running at Fernandez, tries to play it past him, takes a deflection. Iniesta was caught on the edge of the penalty area. The referee says no, he wasn't. That was a fair challenge for him. But then Russia just gave possession back to Spain near the halfway line. By the way, we've got a better Russian phrase for parking the bus than the one we mentioned in the first half. I don't know whether that's a listener or whether we've got it from some other source. Iniesta flicks it out toward the left-hand side. Isco slides along the surface of the pitch and stops it from going out, and now Isco is running at Fernandes. Isco drives the ball across, but straight at Ignashevich on the edge of the 6-yard box, who's able to volley it downfield. It's come off ahead of Sergio Ramos. The crowd are interested, but Smolov wasn't in the same oblast as the ball, and there was no chance of him getting there. Here's Busquets. Russia are now preparing to make that fourth change. Here's one for Aspas to chase down into the full-back position. Aspas plays it back to the corner of the box. Important challenge from Zobnin, but it's back at the feet of Aspas, who tries to drag it back. But he dragged it back straight into the path of Kuzyaev. And the clearance to the halfway line is simply giving possession back to Spain. Yep, Russia, this performance today has very much been a case of igrat at abaroni, which means a team's tactics based on defence. Here on the left-hand side comes Spain once again. Isco is looking for Jordi Alba to go round the corner, but he keeps possession. Excellent balance as he's been challenged there, Isco. And then eventually Spain work it all the way back to the centre circle. Piqué puts his foot on the ball again. First period of extra time, it's 1-1. Now Isco in a central position, but there's no space, no room there. However, it's been won back. Aspas with a little ball to Isco. Isco again runs his foot over it. Busquets just about works the pass to Jordi Alba on the left-hand side. Jordi Alba's cross though is blocked. And Asensio. Back to Jordi Alba. Russia with every man behind the ball, and in fact Koke then shoots from 35 yards, but it sails away over the post.
There's a sub,
and the bar, and we will now see Russia's final change, their fourth change of the match, and it's going to be the number 21 from Zenit St. Petersburg, the midfielder Alexander Yerokin, who is going to replace Dalia Kuzyaev, and that will be a straight swap. The number 7, who is his clubmate at Zenit, and if he walks any more slowly he will actually come to a dead stop, and in fact he has now reached the touchline. Well done, Dalia. So number 21 Alexander Yerokin is on to win his 18th cap. 5 live. Spain 1, Russia 1. Ball in front of the Spanish penalty area with Gerard Piqué. Jordi Alba. It's actually clouded over here as well in Moscow. Thunderstorms were forecast, and the clouds do appear to be thickening above our heads as we look up through the huge circular opening afforded by the roof of this wonderful Luzhniki stadium. Isco gets the ball back from Jordi Alba. Iniesta now again back to Isco. Touch from Iniesta. Isco takes it on into the penalty area, but shows too much of it to Fernandes, who's going to shield it and allow it to roll behind, and that's well defended by Mario Fernandes. A huge round of applause.
Well, I've got to say, Isco's been the only player in what I've saw in a red shirt of Spain today who actually wants to commit defenders and try and make something happen. He's every time he's got it, he's trying to play forward, he's trying to get 1-2s going, or he's trying to take full-backs on or centre-halves on. He's trying to create something.
It's entirely possible, Chris, if it carries on like this, that this will go to penalties, and then of course that can go either way. Spain get knocked out on this side of the draw. That would leave us in this side of the draw with Russia, Croatia, Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland, Colombia and England. There's an opportunity there for someone if they're able to take it, isn't there? The ball just being watched out of play by Carvajal for a goal kick.
There is, and listen, they've had a game plan, Russia. They've thought if we go toe-to-toe with Spain, we're going to get beat, and they've thought we'll defend and we'll defend and we'll frustrate and we'll see if we can get rewards. Not pretty to watch.
It certainly isn't.
But they're just playing to their strengths.
What did I say to you last week? very often some of the most cautious matches I've watched with you over the years have been last 16 games at the World Cup. We were talking, it was Japan-Paraguay, wasn't it, which was one of the least eventful matches I've ever watched. Oh, two Spanish players have run into one another on the edge of the penalty area. Isco and Aspas were making runs, ran into each other and they both fell over. Now Iniesta is challenged. He's upended, but it's a fair challenge for the ball. Aspas now through the middle. Aspas to Asensio. Asensio shoots, but it's straight at Akinfeev, who's able to take that very comfortably, moving quickly to his left. He just patted it down.
Yeah, it's a decent strike, not a lot of backlift on it, so it couldn't generate a lot of pace, but comfortable save. But at least they've had a shot.
That was from, 22, 23 yards. Easy save. Almost 10 minutes played. First period of extra time, BBC 5 Live. And it's still 1-1. If you've been out and about on a sunny, warm summer's afternoon back home, Spain took the lead in the 12th minute. It was an own goal by Sergei Ignashevich. Sergio Ramos putting him under pressure. Ignashevich deflecting it off his leg into his own net. We thought, well, the floodgates will open now. You know, Russian defences have been breached. But not so. They got a penalty shortly before half-time. Piqué handballed a header from Djuba. Djuba himself scored it. And that was the last of the scoring action. Still 1-1. Isco lifts the ball out towards the left-hand side to Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba, and that's a sliding challenge by Kuichapov coming in on Aspas. Then it's swung over the top by Sergio Ramos, but beyond everyone and through for a goal kick. And the supporters here around this stadium are thinking we might be capable, all of these Russian supporters thinking we might be able to nick this in a penalty shootout. Akinfeev just spinning the ball down into the 6-yard box. Spain have one more change. What could they do? Rodrigo?
I'd put in that striker on play 2 up front, because they're not dominating possession. You know, we've got two sort of Wade-ish play, not really Wade, but you've got enough possession, put 2 in the box.
Iniesta plays the ball over the top for Aspas to chase. There are 4 Russian defenders getting back. Aspas takes on Ignashevich and then shoots into him. Well done, Ignashevich. The 38-year-old did very well there. Very nearly isolated, and he's been able to block it out for a throw on the far side for Spain. Aspas takes it. One ball from Iniesta there, very nearly unlocked this Russian defence, and we are going to see a change now. Is that Thiago down there? No, it isn't. It's Rodrigo. So it is Rodrigo who's going to come on, the Valencia striker.
Take Koke off. He's just, as you say, just passes back the 2 centre-halves every time he gets it.
Yeah. I don't think Koke's departure would make it a less exciting game of football. Here's Jordi Alba on the left. Ball is stationary. Sergio Ramos. Square pass towards Piqué. Piqué now to Asensio. And Asensio is going to curl a high pass back out towards Jordi Alba. And now Isco receives it from Jordi Alba. And Isco, just holding off the challenge from Mario Fernandes, is able to play it square towards Piqué, who's going to strike that ball yet again. This pass to Carvajal, and then it's chested off by Iniesta into the penalty area. Iago Aspas beaten to it by Kudryashov, and then there's a man down in the full-back position, and it's another free kick, and we will now see the final Spanish change. So this the last substitution of the match,
Asensio.
And in actual fact it's going to be Asensio who makes way. In a match like this, Spain have barely needed to have what are effectively 2 holding players, but they're going to keep them on right until the end. And Rodrigo is onto the field. The Valencia man who's just had his best season in terms of goals, 19 for him for Valencia this season, the number 9 in this Spanish squad. Spain 1, Russia 1, with the first half of extra time having just a minute or so to run. Ignashevich takes the ball down and wallops it downfield, 15 yards inside Spanish territory, and then Gerard Piqué is illegally challenged by Smolov, and it's a free kick that they take quickly. Piqué to Ramos, who's opening his legs now and giving it to Iniesta in that ever so Iniesta way, swinging his arms as he passes it casually forward towards Isco. And now Iniesta is off and running again. This balding little figure, this great footballer of modern times, Iniesta, who is challenged, and then a free kick for the follow-up challenge on Isco, who's left in a heap on the ground.
I've got to say, John, I don't think there's a lot of contact. Yeah, there's not a lot of contact there. I think he's made a meal of it. Look, he's played the ball, he hasn't touched him at all, and goes down screaming.
Golovin actually, we can see now, took the ball cleanly, but on the follow-through there's minimal contact, but it's a free kick for the challenge on Isco. If Russia concede from this free kick, they will certainly contest the awarding of the free kick. So added time at the end of the first period of extra time. It's 1-1. Free kick is played in now. Glancing header from Piqué straight at Akinfeyev, who's able to catch it quite comfortably.
Yeah, no power on the header. The ball comes in. He's sort of got to take his head to the left and try and generate some power on it, and he couldn't, and it's an easy save.
And I think that will be about it for this first period of extra time. Russia have created absolutely nothing, and now Smolov down the right-hand side wins a throw-in. Time is almost up. There'll barely be time for any play after this throw-in is taken. 78,011 is the crowd announcement, so not quite the 80,000 inside the Luzhniki, which is quite surprising. And that is it. That's the whistle for half-time and extra time, and it's still 1-1.
Yeah, this much of the same. Spain having the ball, Russia defended, and went to the second part in a couple of minutes.
So from the Luzhniki, it's back to the studio at Red Square. They're still in it, Russia, against all expectations. Massive underdogs in this game against Spain, and their obdurate tactics and Spain's shortcomings mean that we're into the second period of extra time, and it is still 1-1. 15 minutes away from a penalty shootout. Thought Koke might have been fouled by Cheryshev there. He's not really had a chance to add to his 3 goals. Said not really had a chance. He's not had a chance, Cheryshev, to since he came on as a substitute, because Russia have been so defensive. And Russia have just allowed Spain to have the ball in the central third of the field, and they've rarely committed themselves into the Russian defensive third. And now the crowd here, almost 80,000 of them, obviously the majority Russian fans with their white, red and blue flags, here just a few hundred yards away from the Moscow River itself, are trying to make a noise and see this team through to a penalty shootout. And then, of course, anything could happen. Ramos swings the ball out towards Jordi Alba on the left-hand side. Then a flick infield from Busquets, back towards Isco. The extremely mobile little figure of Isco with his jet black beard, playing the ball to the right-hand side, where Carvajal gives it back towards Koke. And Koke now, big crossfield pass to Jordi Alba, who kills that ball stone dead with his left foot, gives it to Iniesta, left-footed shot, which is deflected on the edge of the penalty area, took the pace off it, and it just looped through into the box for Akinfeyev to take, and then launch one downfield for Smolov to chase, but Ramos was there as well, and Ramos got the touch with his boot.
When you scout Iniesta's shot, he could have hit it with his right. I thought, you've got it on your right, hit it, he turned on to his left, no power, slight deflection anyway.
2 minutes played in the second period of extra time. Here's Isco now, moving towards the corner of the box, but took his eye off the ball, and that meant Cheryshev could get a touch on it. However, it's ended up in possession of Isco, who's juggling the ball with his right foot over in the Russian left-back position. Isco plays it back behind him, and then it finds its way back to Piqué, just forward of the centre circle, square from him to Ramos. Poor first touch, but decent second touch. Out to the right-hand side to Carvajal. Carvajal in the white boots. Here's the cross from him, looking for Rodrigo, but it's over the top of Rodrigo and caught by Akinfeyev.
Well, you want people to put the ball in the box, don't you? But not like that. So
huge cheer for Akinfeyev. That was an absolutely crucial save that he made from Iniesta. Down to his right, smart save. And now Russia have possession inside Spanish territory, and it's being taken on up the right hand side by Zobnin, but he runs into Sergio Ramos, and that's the end of that. So Piqué receives the ball from Ramos, thought about the long pass, which he does. It's a low pass, and Rodrigo does extremely well to turn his man, and Rodrigo now into the penalty area, takes on and beats Ignashevich, shoots it, saved, it falls for the shot from Carvajal, who slipped as he shot goalwards, and it was blocked by a defender on the 6-yard line.
Wow, what a break. Rodrigo there was so well, didn't he? Went to control, let it go through his legs, spun the defender who's really struggling for pace, little step over, got a difficult angle after he did the step over. He went towards the lane. If he could have come inside, better angle, he didn't. Hits it with his right. Good save.
Some excitement, some genuine excitement as the ball's played over the top for Rodrigo to hit a shot from the edge of the area. It's Iniesta's pass, but he was really straining and stretching for it, Rodrigo, and he sent the volley high over the bar. Now they're going for it.
Yeah, no, but he's give a little bit of energy. He's come on, he's got pace, he's willing to take people on. Keep getting the ball to him.
Rodrigo, the 27-year-old. Goal kick. Akinfeyev to take it. Spain 1, Russia 1. If you're on your way home, you might get back in time for the penalty shootout, unless one of these teams can snatch it. As the referee's given a free kick Russia's way, and the ball is punted back by Busquets towards the point of contact, where Ignashevich will actually wander forward. It was Granat who was fouled. Ignashevich is going to take this. Tall, receding hairline. He looks every month his 38 years old. Ignashevich drives this forward. He's absolutely leathered it way beyond anyone in a white shirt through for a goal kick. Now, if ever there was a sign that Russia are playing for penalties.
No, but you know what? Everybody's tired, and most of them have got cramp. Had it, it's going to happen to them. And he goes and pings the ball like that. No disrespect. Nobody would catch that.
Goal kick. Never at this World Cup has there been a more definite and definitive goal kick conceded. Russia, if they win through this, Russia, Moscow is going to be, you will not be able to avoid hearing this chant of Russia in the Russian capital this evening.
They'll have to get a new bus.
They will.
This one's tired.
Here, Spain with the ball 10 yards inside Russian territory. 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes to go. Piqué plays it through. Rodrigo with a touch. Iniesta now. It's into the penalty area for Aspas. He couldn't take it in his stride. Very nearly. Cut inside the defender, and there was a crucial touch in there which took it away from Aspas, and Russia were able to clear away again. But the threat is there now. There's more of a threat now in this match than there has been at any stage, really. Isco is then handed off.
It's an obstruction
by Yerokin, and it's a free kick.
It's an obstruction, and they've got to put in there. Ramos has gone forward, Piqué has gone forward. Look, there's a quick free kick.
Taken quickly by Jordi Alba to Isco with the outside of his boot. Isco plays it across. Ignashevich gets his head to it. It's pulled down by Piqué. Piqué in the area on the right hand side. Left foot drives it across, and that was blocked by Kudryashov, out for a throw-in on the far side. Finally, we've got a bit of drama and excitement for you on 5 Live. At the latter end of this last 16 game at this Russian World Cup, the hosts are clinging on. They are still just about in their own World Cup. Iniesta on the left hand side. Iniesta towards the byline. Fernandes puts in the challenge. Referee says goal kick. And Fernandes down there, who, don't forget, is Brazilian, gets up and he urges the crowd to get behind their team here. Goal kick it is.
They've played their part, haven't they?
Yeah, the supporters inside the ground are beginning to believe that their team might be capable of knocking out Spain. Akinfeev. Goal kick deep into the Russian half. Busquets gets his head to it. Oh, it's sliced back towards his own penalty area, towards Rodrigo by Kuchepov. Now Isco rolls his foot over it. He's blocked by Ignashevich blatantly. Free kick near the left touchline, just a few yards away from where Fernando Hierro is watching. If Spain end up being knocked out in a penalty shootout, what a campaign it's been for them. The whole business with Lopetegui being sacked the day before the World Cup, Hierro having to take over, then drawn with Portugal when really they should have won that game had it not been for Ronaldo, scraping a 1-0 win against Iran, drawing 2-2 with Morocco, and here making little or no impression for the most part against the rank outsiders of Russia. But it's a free kick. Koke is going to play it in, a right-footed in-swinger from the left wing. Free kick taken by Koke. Delivered it nicely, it's gone a long way, and it's flicked across the face of goal, and Sergio Ramos, who got the touch, is saying that he was being wrestled, he was having his shirt pulled. He's run towards the referee. Busquets is there as well. Referee Kuipers. There was certainly some pushing and shoving going on in there, not least once they all got to the referee.
Oh yes,
but
definitely.
Sergio Ramos was being twisted right round.
And Piqué, watch Piqué. Yeah, we're getting a bit of a replay. Look, and the referee's looking at it. He's actually looking at it.
There's a VAR check going on,
and it should be as well. And if he's got any, well, it'd be interesting to see if he's got.
This could well be a penalty. This could be a penalty to Spain, because both Piqué and Sergio Ramos were being manhandled. They are looking at it now.
Got to give it, John.
The fourth official is the Dutchman Danny Makely, and they are watching the pictures in the Moscow bunker where they're based.
Got to give it to
Sergio Ramos was being wrestled. Ignashevich, and they've not seen enough. No. They've not given it. They've not given a penalty against the host nation in the second period of extra time in this last 16 match at the World Cup.
What a shock. Can't believe it.
Interesting to hear well, there won't be an explanation, will there? As suddenly now it begins to rain on the Luzhniki. The rain clouds have rumbled over this Russian national stadium, and it's absolutely pouring down now through the gap in this huge circular roof above our heads, and the game will finish in a torrential downpour. Spain 1, Russia 1. We're into the last 5 minutes of extra time. Real controversy there. When the ball's been lost inside the Spanish penalty area, but the pull back from the edge of the air, and there were options there. Golovin was available, but it wasn't able to be used by Cheryshev. However, Russia will come again down the right-hand side with Yerokin, who wins a throw-in for Russia, level with the edge of the Spanish penalty area. That was an opportunity Russia had there, not taken.
Busquets dawdling with it, wasn't he? Trying a little Cruyff turn in the box and he lost it.
And so now Fernandez has a throw-in for Russia. Smolov is available inside the penalty area. Instead, the throw goes down the line, and Smolov is able to win a corner for Russia.
Could it be?
Could it be? We are deep in extra time. We're in the 117th minute. Golovin is going to take the corner from the right for Russia. Spain have to defend this set piece. Golovin swings it in, header across the face of goal and beyond the far post, and it bounces down into the full-back position. Smolov catches up with it. The threat is still there. Smolov on his right foot, ball across is chested down and away for Spain by Jordi Alba, and here's one downfield for Rodrigo to chase, and he is chasing, but he's been beaten to it, and the ball is played back to Akinfeev. And the goalkeeper clears it out of play for a throw-in. 2.5 minutes of extra time to play. Actually, the second period of extra time has not been bad.
Well, because Spain thought we don't want to go to a shootout, so we're going to have to help the tempo. Why did they do this early in the game? I don't know.
Genuine excitement now inside the stadium. Jordi Alba on the left wing for Spain. Isco plays it back towards the halfway line. And suddenly, after that flurry of activity, here we are back to Spain in possession in the central third. Gerard Piqué on his right foot. Thought about going long, instead goes to Carvajal on the right hand side. Carvajal's ball in towards the edge of the penalty area to Koke. Then it comes back to Piqué. Piqué goes for a high pass out towards this left hand side, the Spanish left, but Fernandez read that and was able to head it away, only to Sergio Ramos. And now Isco goes off on a weaving run towards the dead ball line, chips it across, takes a deflection which looped it across the penalty area. That was headed away, nodded further away. Smolov challenges for it. Might have caught Sergio Ramos with his arm. No, referee allows play to continue. And now Aspas with a little ball. No, behind Isco. And now it's played away over the top, but a slip at the crucial moment.
Ramos got a little bit of cramp
by Cheryshev, and he wasn't able to latch onto that long ball downfield. Ramos is he's back on his feet. He's okay. And we have 1 minute of extra time to play. The rain still pouring down on the pitch surface of the Luzhniki Stadium. That's possibly why it's become rather greasy down there. And we've seen 1 or 2 slips by the players. Less than a minute away from a penalty shootout. Iniesta flicks it to the left-hand side. And now Jordi Alba looks to get it back from Iniesta, but he won't reach that. Fernandez has done very well. I think he's played as well as anyone, actually. Mario Fernandez, the right wing back, and it's a goal kick.
I don't think anybody sticks out for it. I think they've been a team today. They've just all put a shift in. They've showed tremendous honesty, energy. They've worked hard, and people criticise teams who part the bus, and I'm not a big fan of it, but play to strengths, and if that gets you the result, you do it.
Spain 1, Russia 1. Seconds away from a penalty shootout. Russia have never been involved in a penalty shootout at a major tournament, either as Russia, Soviet Union, CIS, USSR, whatever you want to call them. So this will be history.
And 1 minute.
They will have an even chance, obviously, of winning their way through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. But Ignashevic's clearance has hit Aspas. Might be one final chance. And it's a shot on the turn from Rodrigo, and it's saved by Akinfeev down to his right. Oh, he nearly broke the hearts of the host nation there, Rodrigo. But Akinfeev to the rescue, which he might have to be in the penalty shootout as well. That must be about it. 30 seconds to play.
Rodrigo hits it, doesn't he? And he could have given it back to his striking partner, who's been linked up pretty well to him. He could have rolled him in, but he went for the shot. Comfortable save.
Spain 1, Russia 1. It is raining, but it is not yet raining on Russia's parade. The throw-in taken down the left-hand side, the ball hoisted in from the left, but bouncing through to De Gea. So he's had his critics, David De Gea, at this World Cup. He's had next to nothing to do in this match, but he has the chance to be a hero in the penalty shootout, because there is the final whistle, and against all of the odds, the rank outsiders at this Russian World Cup, the hosts, have taken Spain all the way to a penalty shootout. It's finished 1-1 after extra time, Chris Waddle.
Well, they could have went straight to this basically after about 20 minutes of the game, couldn't they? So, give Russia credit. They've worked their socks off, and they need that little bit of luck in the shootout now. But Spain will kick themselves. They should have played a lot more quicker. They should have took a bit more risk, and I think they would have got a result.
So Spain 1, Russia 1, and penalty kicks on the way here in the Luzhniki. Quite a big contingent of Spanish fans down there, actually. And the first one is going to be taken by Iniesta. So we're ready for the first penalty. The players are lined up, arms round one another's shoulders on the halfway line. On the edge of the coaching area, all of the substitutes and staff have their arms round one another. And we're going to waste no time here. First penalty of the shootout. Iniesta scores, sends Akinfeev the wrong way, and it is 1-0 in the shootout to Spain.
Quality pen, wasn't it? No panic. Look, he just waits. Look, just lifts it, waits the goal. He goes, just rolls it in, just clips it into the net. And to be fair, if this is his last game, you wouldn't want him to miss with it.
No. So who's going to take the first one for Russia? I think it's going to be Smolov, isn't it? The number 10, the substitute, Smolov. What a scene we have inside the Luzhniki Stadium here. Brilliant scene, everyone on their feet, two tiers, nearly 80,000 people. The host nation's hopes resting on a penalty shootout. Little short run up from Smolov, scores. De Gea diving to his right, went the right way, might even have got a touch to that, but couldn't keep it out. 1-1.
He basically didn't run up, did he? He just walked up and he did get his right hand to it, but couldn't push it around the post. Pushes it into side netting.
Next, Gerard Piqué. They're wasting no time here, are they? Piqué is already now in the penalty area. He's got the ball, scoops it up with his right foot. Whistles and whistles pouring down from the stands. Gerard Piqué with his right-footed penalty strikes it in off the foot of the post, with Akinfeev going the wrong way this time. And it is 2-1 to Spain in the shootout.
Yeah, good. Penn sends the goal the wrong way, and again, it's a post that actually. I think it hits the post and goes in off the post. He's hit the inside of the post. Wow.
What tension inside the stadium here. As next for Russia, it is the old man, 38-year-old Sergei Ignashevich, taking responsibility. This might be his last appearance for Russia. He wants to make sure it's not. A little delay and he scores. Well done, Ignashevich. The slightest of delays there as he came up to the ball. De Gea dived to his right and Ignashevich tucked it away.
Brilliant. Just runs up, little stutter. Up. De Gea goes right, he goes left. Right, Penn. Well done.
2-2. 4 successful penalties taken. Next, it's Koke, the Atletico Madrid midfielder. This is a right-footed penalty. Akinfeev crouches on his line, and it is straight down the middle and saved by Akinfeev. It's advantage Russia in the shootout.
To be fair, when he walked up there, John, I just tapped Gary on your left, and I thought, don't fancy him. He's not played a forward ball all day, has he? And it's not the best pen. The goalie's gambled to his right, and it's a good save, a comfortable save for him. He looked nervous.
Next, it's young Golovin, the number 17, the 22-year-old, who could be bound for the Premier League and Chelsea. Well, the excitement is rising here as Golovin with his right foot drives it underneath De Gea's dive down to his right. Went right underneath the Manchester United keeper, and now it is advantage Russia 3-2.
Ramos.
The captain, Sergio Ramos. The atmosphere is quite something here. The atmosphere all around the stadium is becoming frenzied. If Ramos misses this, I mean, the pressure is piled on Spain, and Sergio Ramos with his right foot, oh, brilliant penalty, scores as Akinfeev commits himself to his left. Went the other way, and he makes it 3-3 in the shootout.
He just doesn't have any nerves.
He just doesn't.
No. He just styles out. How casual is that? Sends the keeper around.
I mean, Chris, there's so much to dislike about Sergio Ramos, but there is so much to admire as well.
He's a winner. Listen, he's a winner. Look, he's having a word with him. He's trying to put the next taker off.
Referee Kuipers sends him on his way, and it's going to be Cheryshev. Denis Cheryshev came on as a substitute today. 3 goals already. Russia scores for Russia. That's 4-3. That means next man must score for Spain. Otherwise, Russia will be into the quarter-finals.
Wow. Another good pen. Under pressure as well, by the way. Great pen.
And who is it who has been given the pressure of this penalty? It is Iago Aspas.
Aspas?
It is Iago Aspas. We've reached the point where if this does not go in, Russia are through and Spain are out.
Oh.
And the referee is saying that there's a Spanish player not in the centre circle, so has to just... It's Ramos, would you believe?
Ramos.
And so Iago Aspas runs round to his right, a long run up, left-footed, oh, it's saved! action all over again. The goalkeeper's the hero. Russia are through to the quarterfinals. The hosts are still in it. Spain are out. Amazing scenes at the Luzhniki. Amazing. Oh, what about this? The rearguard action of rearguard actions has seen Russia through, and the rank outsiders will play in a World Cup quarter-final of their own World Cup.
Well, let's see that Penny. I think he saves it with his left foot, doesn't he? He dives to his right, he sticks his left foot in the air and kicks it away. I'm sure he does. You know, we're quite away, he goes down the middle. He kicks it away with his left foot. Wow.
Well, he went to his right, Aspas went down the middle, but he was able to readjust and hook it away with his left foot.
Well,
then he makes it, and then he dives forward onto the pitch. They're still celebrating down there. So this World Cup, we lost Germany. Yesterday we lost Argentina and Portugal. Today we've lost Spain. And this half of the draw at this World Cup, which contains England, has opened right up.
Unbelievable. Listen, you've got to give Russia a pat on the back. If you're a purist of football, you'll say no, because it was drab. They parked the bus, they sat deep, they didn't want to let Spain to come at them, and Spain have took the risk without taking risk in the football. They've took the risk of going to a shootout, and they've paid the price. But I've got to say, all tournament, John, Spain have never convinced me. In spells they've been great, 20 minutes here and 15 minutes here, but overall they've looked tired, they've looked slow, very easy to play against, and they've got dangerous teams that look dangerous against on a counter-attack. Give Russia credit. They were on their last legs. They took it right to the shootout, and they've got their rewards. Well done. The hosts are still in.
Well, thanks to Igor Akinfeyev's left foot, Russia win the penalty shootout by 4-3 after a 1-1 draw after extra time. As they say in Moscow, as they say in Russia, this is Nevyaradyadnya.